Brian Wu gets the ball for the Mariners. Game 2 of the series tonight against the Tigers, who are, by the way, going with a bullpen day. 6:40 first pitch, 5:30 pregame coverage. You can hear it right here on Seattle Sports. Astros and Rangers are both in progress right now. The Rangers trying to wrap up a win over the Giants. They lead 5-0. The Blue Jays and Astros are in extras. The Blue Jays scored 2 in the top of the 10th. They currently lead 5-3, top of the 10th over Houston. And we do have football tomorrow. Hall of Fame game tomorrow. Carson Beck gets the start for the Cardinals. Number 3 overall pick, Jeremiah Love, will not play in the game.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We are live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Another day of Seahawks training camp. Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you. Dave, it's kind of nice out with this breeze. A little steamy out. How you doing over there?
It's smoky.
It's smoky.
It's a little smoky.
Smoky and steamy. Yeah.
Stanford graduate right there. Ed Goins, lead counsel, Seattle Seahawks. Got to shout out my Stanford guy.
It's just a celebrity affair every single day here.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's a little smoky out, you can see, but no, it's fine. And I'm sure that they're testing the air, making sure that otherwise they would have, if it was too severe, they would have probably practiced inside. So, yeah, interesting. And on a day where I think everybody got to see the Hard Knocks show last night, and I actually figured out a way to do it.
Okay, good. I was about to say, I was a little nervous. You said everyone, so I was assuming it meant you.
Including myself.
Okay, fantastic.
You thought I was going to say, except for me.
Yeah. Well, most of our show is going to consist of discussing that episode and talking about it because it was a chance to see the Seahawks like we never have seen before. Some of that access, I know you get to be in the building a lot. You might have seen some of these behind-the-scenes places that others don't, but it was revealing in a lot of ways. But before we got into all that, I did have to kind of nervously throw out there. I was going to say, Dave, did you watch Hard Knocks?
So you were worried about me.
I was a little worried. Yeah. You didn't text me or call me later, so I figured someone helped you.
Yeah, my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, so got on to HBO Max. We actually had a password for that one. Watched it on the computer. So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty interesting. It's really interesting how they put those things together, it's all about the editing. And I think that's, because obviously they're just shooting hours and hours of film, and what makes it to, I mean, it's probably 10-1 as far as what makes it on the air. They probably tape 10 times more stuff. So and just kind of the route that they went was interesting, and I'm just curious. People can text in 866-979-3776. What'd you think of Hard Knocks? Did you maybe want a little bit more, or did it kind of capture the team's personality? Because I think that's the one thing I was maybe going to be the most of a stickler about was, are they capturing what Mike Macdonald is bringing? And I thought they did. I thought they did a good job of that.
I think they did a brilliant job of capturing his funny, kind of nerdy side, and then also showcasing what makes him such a good coach. A lot of moments, we'll break down all of this, but a lot of moments of the contrast of he's laughing himself. We saw that in those first couple of meetings, those awkward laughs when I loved when he was doing the announcements of the offseason. He's like, weddings, everyone cheers. He goes, babies, everyone cheers. He goes, yeah, we're having a baby as well. Yeah. Silence. He goes, he gives a little, hey, we're having a baby. And they all cheer. He goes, yeah, babies. Like that, a part like that. And then you compare it to how he is in some of these meetings that we saw, or, we'll break down the post kind of skirmish de-escalation that he had, but just kind of talk through it with first his defensive coordinator, Adam Dirty, and then to go over to Brady Russell. So balancing that out, I think it really showcased why Mike Macdonald is thought of so highly around the league and why this Seahawks team won a Super Bowl in year 2 with him.
Yeah, well, and we always talk about how it's a copycat league, so I'm sure that, everybody's trying to figure out, okay, what's the secret sauce? What's the formula here in Seattle? And, it's just interesting how they I think you probably saw a lot more than you've ever seen of nerdy comments from guys, that were just kind of awkward. And I think my favorite part is possibly Sam Darnold opening the box and his ring falls out. And then he looks at the camera with this, because that's exactly what happened to me. When I got home,
Your ring fell out?
I opened it, yeah, and it just exactly like what happened to him. It fell on the ground. I was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be kidding me!" So yeah,
that didn't break.
I know it didn't. So that little scene right there kind of just captures a little bit of vulnerability. Like, oh geez, I'm a Super Bowl winning quarterback and I just dropped the ring that we worked so hard for. So yeah, I thought that was a funny little moment.
Were you watching? I was kind of watching it like it was an assignment. I was going through, taking notes, like we were watching film. Like, okay, 10 seconds in, this part, so-and-so said this. Go back, look at the themes, break down the key storylines. No, maybe not that seriously, but it was interesting to watch it from the perspective of this being a team that we deal with on a day in and day out basis. Because I wonder how it's perceived around the rest of the league. And, someone like Michael Bradley, who has no vested interest in the Seahawks, he said, Hard Knocks, maybe it's grown a little bit stale. And I think that's kind of the mindset around the league, is that you don't really get much substance anymore. So I could, on two ways, definitely was fascinating if you have any kind of interest in the Seahawks. It was a great look at a lot of things we've never seen before, just like John Schneider's office. I don't think anyone knows what that looked like. You probably have been up in there. But like Mike Macdonald's office. Hey, what does that look like? Oh, that was pretty cool. That was really interesting. But I also could see if you're just a random, a Bengals fan, would this captivate you? I don't know. If you're a football fan, maybe. But I could see also kind of the argument of like, yeah, the formula for this show is kind of what it is. You're not getting really anything too substantive out here. But for us to see these guys in kind of a new light, it was completely captivating.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, I thought, you mentioned the offices. I have been in John's office, and I think I've been in the head coach office, but both of them were kind of understated, I thought. It was utilitarian, but it wasn't like it was, gaudy or anything. Because I sat in two head coaches' office, well, actually three, but one time with Chuck Knox. And it was very intimidating. Chuck had the big bookcase with all the rings and all the stuff and trophies and all that stuff. And then the other one was Bill Walsh. I sat in Bill Walsh's office when I got traded to the 49ers. And, and it was very intimidating and very, like I said, it was kind of gaudy with all kinds of different pictures and everything. And, it was these two guys, they're just kind of like, okay, well, I'll put the computer here and I got a cup of, pencils and pens here. And one of my favorite moments in that last night was when Cooper Kupp was sitting with Mike Macdonald.
Yeah.
And he said something about, they ran it from under center, something like that. And Mike Macdonald goes, why didn't I see that? And Cooper Kupp just kind of sitting there shaking his head. And I think that the point of that is that you can see that Cooper Kupp is very important to this team. And hopefully we'll get into like the Jake Bobo thing, because Jake is very much a glue guy. And we've talked about him and how, he had 4 receptions last year. And, obviously some big plays and big moments, but he wasn't really like one of your frontline players. And yet he is very important to this team. And I think Cooper Kupp falls into that same category. And you can tell that he's going to be a coach.
Yeah, we will certainly break that down a lot at 3 o'clock, the impact that you said, that story about how he was watching film with Macdonald, what he does with his fellow wide receivers. And Brian Fleury had some good insight on Cooper Kupp and what makes him so valuable to an offensive coaching staff as well. That was really interesting to see. So we'll break that down a little bit more at 3 o'clock. We do have a nice array of guests coming out today, Dave. Matt Snyder, national writer for CBS Sports, covers Major League Baseball, will join us at 2:30, get a lot of trade deadline reaction. His thoughts on a less than inspiring Mariners performance after the trade deadline. Ernest Jones will join us live on set here right after practice ends. Kind of feels like it's been anywhere in the 3:45 to 4 o'clock-ish range. So, hey, by about 3:45, start paying attention, because Ernest Jones will be here when practice is done, and then we know you have the signing of all the fans that want autographs. Usually there's some family members out here. So whenever practice ends, maybe tack on about 10 minutes or so. But that's when Ernest Jones will join us. 10 to, if they realize they have to come over, and then add an extra 20 minutes. Ernest Jones will be here at some point later in the show. And then Jon Morosi at 5 o'clock as well. So a lot of Mariners to get into. But, yeah, we have to keep talking about Hard Knocks. And, Dave, for me, the moment that I think I just blurted out laughing, the single funniest moment of the episode was after one practice, there's a shot of Sam Darnold signing with a bunch of fans. And there are fans here today. It's packed on the berm, so we might get something like this again with the Hard Knocks cameras rolling. But there are a bunch of kids standing there next to him and one of them's kind of looking at Darnold, and then he's looking at him, and then all of a sudden, here is this kid losing his mind when JSN walks over.
You remember, you probably don't remember this, the old clips of like when the Beatles came to America and the women were just like screaming and losing their minds. That's what that reminded me of. I mean, it was just crazy, the amount of like excitement. And we saw that, you know, and JSN, by the way, has done a fantastic job of going over and spending time with fans, and he's very calm about it, but he has to be because people are losing their minds over him. So, but yeah, I mean, he's done a great job with that, but just interesting to see him become that kind of player that, you know, he's, and, you know, I think it's kind of interesting that like he's not built like DK Metcalf. He doesn't look like a superhero or anything, just a regular guy that's just an incredibly explosive player. But yeah, it was that kid was just, I thought he was going to pass out.
Yeah. How do you feel if you're Sam Darnold? And the kids are waiting for you to sign, and all of a sudden they do not care because here's JSN coming over. And yeah, he is a superstar, but crazy to think the impact you can have in essentially, I mean, Dave, that's just based on one season of production. Because I'm sure you were a JSN fan, you know, his rookie season. He was a highly touted wide receiver. He was a first-round pick. But he was by no means anything to what he showed last year. So in one season, he becomes the guy, the star of this team, and kind of the face of what kids, I guess, obviously want autographs more than anyone else.
Yeah, no, it's interesting seeing, you know, him being the number 20 pick. And I remember at the time thinking, well, maybe that's a little bit high for JSN, but man, he's become, and it's become more and more obvious. I no longer have the questions that I've had in years past of what makes JSN so great. Watching him out here run his routes and how explosive he is at the top of the route. I mean, it looks like, you know, who's Iverson. It looks like Iverson. Remember when he'd do his little crossover and just lose people? And that's kind of what you're seeing from him. And I think that there's all kinds of things, though. I mean, there is him tracking the ball in the air. I think he's one of the best at that. Him, like, choking down the speed a little bit, and then because the DBs they can only, you know, they're not going to run, they're just going to cover you, and they're going to react to what you do. And so when JSN slows down and then speeds up at the end, that's where the tracking ability is really becomes very apparent. And so yeah, it was kind of a relief for me this year watching him, because I'm like, I haven't ever really been able to describe what makes him so good. And there's the answer is there's a lot of things, but for the most part, I just think his explosiveness. And speaking of that, there goes Rashid Shaheed with a deep cross over and just catches a touchdown pass.
Yeah, we saw a couple of those. I think last time I was out here with you guys, he had a deep one as well. And this is happening right in front of us. So, hey, you want to talk about another element of explosiveness for this offense? And here they come in a little hurry up. Well, do you want to narrate this live? You know, getting practice flow, you and Rabel?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks, first preseason game.
Eye backs. What does Rabel say?
Eye backs, yeah. So the Seahawks offense working in front of us right now. We did actually, Dave, and I wasn't sure, with a show like this where they're showcasing individuals and storylines, I wasn't sure how much news items they'd get into, but we kind of got a newsy moment. And maybe the first, I don't want to say a concern, but the first real, all right, this is something worth pondering a little more than just, okay, we have Sam Darnold dropping his ring, or this is what it's like after practice. We got kind of, maybe you call it a semi-tense moment where John Snyder, Mike Macdonald, they're talking, and this was John Snyder kind of outlining what was going on with Devin Witherspoon after a report came out from Ian Rappaport.
Spoon got wigged out, not last night, the previous night, because Ian Rappaport reported that you're making him the highest paid guy and he's not accepting it, and da-da-da-da. So I called Ian and was like, hey man, like, you need to call an agent and tell him that that's not coming from us, you know. Mo talked to Spoon, everything's fine. He's like, he gets it, he's in a good spot now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of one of those. They don't want that kind of drama, so definitely, that's some maybe the most serious you'll see John Snyder. So yeah, I mean that part's still plenty contentious, and I think everybody's kind of uneasy a little bit over the Spoon thing. Don't get any. I mean, he's out there, Mike. There he is right there going full speed. Everything is full speed. He's been in pads, all of that. And it's not like it's in danger of possibly being a holdout or anything like that, but it's definitely a real thing, and especially in the media. But you see Spoon out here just doing everything he possibly can, and it's encouraging to see that, knowing that there's that kind of drama going on behind the scenes.
Well, yeah, I was curious about two things coming out of that. First of all, how does a report like that get out if it wasn't from the Seahawks side? Because usually that phrasing and the report from Ian Rappaport that got him kind of all twisted up, I guess, there was that when we played that cut a few weeks ago, is the Seahawks have made Devin Witherspoon an offer that would make him the highest paid cornerback, and it was on Witherspoon's side that hasn't accepted it. And you kind of get the sense, if you kind of do some critical thinking and you parse things, that that's usually a team leaking to a reporter, not an agent. The agent will use a report to get leverage for his player, whether it might be someone else going the other side or kind of balancing two clients off one another. That way, the way it was worded made it sound like it was definitely from the team. But John Schneider was very quick to dismiss that. So I wonder if they didn't want that out, or if it's something where it is a little contentious with the agent. Yeah, I don't think there's a problem at all with Witherspoon. We'll play a clip here from him in a second that certainly backs that up. But it does sound like the agent is making it kind of difficult, and maybe that's kind of along the timeline of, well, we thought this would be done a lot earlier. We heard from Brady Henderson and from a number of people that the JSN deal was smooth, got done quickly, and that the expectation was that Witherspoon would happen soon after. Now here we are. It's August 5th. Nothing's happened. You get a clip like that. That's a little concerning because it does sound like these two sides, and you can attest to this, I'm sure. That's the agent's role, right? To be the bad guy, to argue on behalf of his player so that the player doesn't have to face that. But it doesn't sound like those two sides are in the best place right now.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just the nature of the beast. That's not anything that's a surprise to John Schneider, right? I mean, he's been doing this for a really long time, and I think he gets how to handle, and every agent is different, right? And remember the one story that we heard from John that his son Ben was telling him he's using inappropriate language when he was talking. But that's a guy that he knows. I think it was Marshawn's agent, and and they're friends. John is friends with most of these guys. So we saw him walking with somebody that looked kind of like an agent yesterday. So yeah, he's always got good relationships, and he has a way of kind of keeping things light. So you see that, and then you see Spoon kind of explaining a little bit about why he should be paid well, because like I agree with him that he's got the second hardest job in the NFL, and that's playing corner.
Yeah, here is Devin Witherspoon breaking down exactly what you just said.
Outside of quarterback, for real, we got the hardest position on the field, man. It's hard to guard these guys, especially when you can't touch them past 5 yards. I mean, like, these guys they real talented, man. I mean, it's just a hard job to play. So when you got a guy who could really do, like, shut down a receiver, or just like can be versatile like I am, like you don't come across those guys often, for real. So when you got a premier corner like that, it's just you pay him. Like, please pay him. That's all we saying. So
was that a first person interchangeably into third person, and then back to maybe a little second person there?
That's exactly what you got there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good.
It was quite a few sentence structures that went all the way around, but yeah, we get the point of it.
Yeah, and I look at that. That's something I've always said since the time I played. And the reason why it's so hard at corner is because you're facing some of the biggest freak athletes in the world, basically. Yeah. And so, and look, playing quarterback, incredibly difficult, and quarterbacks see the game differently. And, that's why, there's so many Tony Romos and Tom Bradys that are, doing color analysis, because that's a tough position to play. But yeah, I mean, second hardest is corner because of those freakish receivers and guys like JSN that we're just talking about.
Now, Seahawks training camp is going on right in front of us. They're about to do my favorite part of maybe all of training camp, Dave. I think we mentioned it yesterday. It's the time where we just blast footballs at the building. Kicking is happening. The goalposts are up. They're going through their field goal kicking right now. Patrick, our video producer, is about to get hit in the head if he doesn't look up. So be aware. Head on a swivel here. See, I do like when I'm over there to try to catch this. This one's coming like right at us. Yeah, here it is. Look at that.
Yeah,
almost bounced.
Unfortunately, you missed.
Yeah, a little short. Well, right. That means if they're hitting us, that means they missed, which is not a good sign. Right. But yes, a lot going on out here. We're going to catch up with Ernest Jones after practice. He'll join us out here on the set. We're going to talk to Matt Snyder of CBS Sports for his MLB trade deadline reaction coming up just a few minutes. That's at 2:30. Then Jon Morosi, our guy, to make us feel better. It's giving him that task every week. It's a tough one this year. Jon Morosi will make us feel better about the Mariners at 5 o'clock if he can. But right now, let's take two. All right, Dave. Well, the Mariners entered the day 3.5 back of the Astros in the AL West. The Astros did just lose. Nice comeback by the Blue Jays. They were down 3-0 early, scored 3 runs in the 6th, scored 2 in the top of the 10th. Astros did grab a run. The Blue Jays win 5-4. The Rangers, unfortunately, did beat the Giants. 6-0 win for the Rangers. And now if you're the Mariners, you're kind of looking at a very crowded wild card spot. They entered the day 2 games back, the final wild card spot behind the Guardians, but 4 other teams are in the mix with them, and they're all ahead of them right now.
Yeah. No, it's the AL West in particular, and just, in general, the American League is just so hard to figure out. So, yeah, it's like nobody's really grabbing the opportunity, including the Mariners. Damn it.
I know. It's kind of it's sad, but kind of funny. Is that every publication comes out with their trade deadline recaps, grading the trade deadline, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and now they do where do the teams go from here? And so in all these pieces, whether it's The Athletic or in Matt Snyder's piece in CBS Sports, any publication, they're like, well, the AL West has been thoroughly unimpressive, and the best chance for all these teams is the continued mediocrity of every other team. They're all lumped together. I mean, the Rangers are now 57-58 after the win. The Astros lost today, so they slip a little bit. They're 59-57. But the Mariners, they're chasing the Tigers, Orioles, and Twins along with the Rangers right now. There's a lot on the line for them moving forward.
We're rooting for mediocrity.
Yeah. By the way, you just opened our show up to a slew of mean texts by saying that about rooting for mediocrity. I think they could have. I think they'd apply that to us, perhaps. So no, now that I put that in their mind,
doesn't work.
They're not smart enough to think of it on their own, but now that I put it in their mind, they might be. Dave, we do have NFL football, an actual game involving 2 teams tomorrow.
Is it?
It's the Hall of Fame game. All right, well, there's your thoughts on it. Where's Bump? Get Bump back over here. Bump is already camped out in front of the TV. He'll talk about it tomorrow, I'm sure, on their show. He is going to be plopped down in front of the TV, taking notes, charting every drive of Cardinals-Panthers, Hall of Fame game tomorrow. Carson Beck, the quarterback the Cardinals drafted, will start for them, but their number 3 overall pick, Jeremiah Love, won't play. They get this earlier game in the preseason because they're playing in early August 6th, so Love won't play. What do you think about that? Do you want to get your rookie running back in there? He's expected to be the starter, or do you kind of ease him in as this preseason goes along?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something going on with him. He's not comfortable, or he's got like a twinge or pulled muscle or something like that. But yeah, you would think for sure you'd want to get, because Jadarian Price has got plenty of run out here.
Yeah.
Saw him on Hard Knocks, and just his running style, everything looks really good. He really does look like Sean Alexander.
Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of when he runs. But I'll be interested to see Carson Beck. I thought he was a really good player, and I thought that was a pretty good pick for them. But that's been their problem, right? I mean, they have not had a good, solid quarterback for a long time, since they were going to the playoffs with like Kurt Warner. Who else? I'm trying to think. Carson Palmer. Yeah, so it's that's a very important position for the Arizona Cardinals.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. We're going to get some national insight on the trade deadline and what Matt Snyder thinks of this mess that is the American League West and the American League wild card in general. Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you live from Seahawks training camp. It's Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle sports extends far beyond Western Washington. Every single day, thousands across our state listen and stream Seattle sports, including our neighbors in Spokane listening on KXLX radio. Our thoughts are with everyone in Spokane, where historic fires have already devastated our state's second most populated city. Join Seattle sports in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
Hey, here's one for every homeowner listening. Dave Wyman here. Fast water heater has kept our water warm since 1986. That was just before my rookie year. I mean, that's 4 full decades of serving our neighborhoods. And now they're a part of Fast Home Services, applying that same standard of excellence to your whole house. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, the name you already trust, keeping your family comfortable, safe, happy, and healthy across the entire house. So call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds across water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
It is grand salami time! No doubt about it, Ichiro! Ichiro is back, and he's trading base hits for long balls. 50 season celebration weekend kicks off with the all-new Alumni Home Run Derby presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. On Friday, August 7th, after the team takes on the Rays, see Ichiro step up to the plate against other former Mariner sluggers.
Ichiro has beaten
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
Bellwether Appraisal Company reminds parents swimming is a healthy outlet for kids if we remember to put safety first. Make sure your children are visible by a responsible adult or lifeguard at all times. Sign your children up for swimming lessons and provide them a flotation device for added safety. Always check swimming conditions in advance and coach your kids to never swim alone. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Bellwether Appraisal Company, specializing in step-up in-basis and estate appraisals, online at bellwetherappraisal.net.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
If it's blocking your view, keeping your yard dark or shaded, or impossible to mow around, get rid of that tree or stump this summer with P&D Tree Service. They'll do it safely and quickly, cleaning up your yard in the process. P&D Tree turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. One tree or land clearing, they have the tools and expertise for the job. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever seen a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeservice.com.
Your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing love telling you no. No high-pressure sales pitches. No Band-Aid fixes that will fail come wintertime. No outrageous pricing from some corporate-owned roofing company with headquarters thousands of miles from here. Three Tree Roofing is local, family-owned, and their team will build you a worry-free plan for your roof replacement, completely free. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and call today to say yes to an additional $500 discount. That's 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
With you today on Wyman and Bob. A lot to talk about after a very active trade deadline and then subsequently a pretty disappointing game for the Mariners last night. So to help us break it all down, we bring in Matt Snyder, national writer for CBS Sports, who does a great job covering MLB and all things relating to MLB. Matt, how's it going today?
Very good. I just got done watching the Cubs-Dodgers game where Ohtani and PCA both went deep twice. So that was quite a matinee there, just for any baseball fan who likes to be entertained.
Yeah, what a series that became with Tarek Skubal going over there making the start last night. Well, yeah, let's start with that then, since you just were talking about this. Before we get into the Mariners, what do you make of the Tarek Skubal trade and now all these?
The landscape.
Both sides are coming out and, hey, this is terrible for baseball. Blame the Dodgers, and the Dodgers obviously are saying, well, look, we're just doing what anyone else could do. Are there far-reaching ramifications because of this Tarek Skubal trade, or what do you think comes of this?
Well, I guess I tried to approach it from if the Brewers had traded for Skubal, for example, would everybody be saying, hey, everything's solved, everything's okay, we don't need a salary cap? I don't think so. I think that it's just the people who have freaked out these last 4 or 5 days are the people who already think that changes need to be made. So it shouldn't, at least in theory, move the needle any. But when you have evidence for your side of the argument and the evidence just continues to mount, I think that it makes you feel like you have a stronger case. And sure enough, today, my colleague at CBS Sports, Julian McWilliams, wrote an article where he talked to some front office people, and it seems like most of the ownership groups of, like, let's say, non-contending teams who don't have high payrolls are ecstatic that he went to the Dodgers, because this is more evidence that we need to do something about this. It wasn't about money, this deal. Like, the Rays and Brewers both could have afforded the $9.4 million left on Skubal's contract. But let's just say this. The optics are terrible. If you're a casual baseball fan and you already think the Dodgers' payroll is ridiculous and they've won the last 2 World Series and they go out and they trade for the 2-time Cy Young winner, just saying those few sentences together, the optics are awful.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Matt, what did you make of the moves that the Mariners made here in Seattle with, getting a right-handed bat and a relief pitcher?
The Taylor Ward is interesting to me because, as I'm sure you guys have been over many times before, he's like just basically a power hitter before the season. Then he goes to Baltimore, and he's like among the league leaders in walks all season, and rocking that high on base percentage looks great. But then he stops hitting home runs, and it's just weird to have a skill set completely change like that. And at this point in a player's career is incredibly weird. And, like, we've seen guys add the on-base aspects but still keep their power, not add the on-base aspects and just have the power completely zapped. So it's bizarre. I do wonder if he's going to kind of morph back into that old guy at some point where he stops taking as many walks and he gains some of the power back. But, when you're playing half your games in T-Mobile, it's not the greatest place to get all your power back. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the rest of the year. I definitely like adding a guy with, at the time of the trade, a 383 on base percentage to the Mariners lineup. 100%, I like that addition for sure. So he was the one I was really focused on. Any bullpen depth is always going to be good. So I liked what they did on those two moves. I kind of wanted them to be a little more aggressive because while the team has been disappointing to this point in the season, I still think you've got enough players to where things could click really fast. And when you're 3.5 games out, clicking really fast is all you need to happen. And the American League's wide open. I still don't see why anybody should be scared of the Rays. Who knows what's going to happen with the Yankees offense if Aaron Judge is coming back at all. The American League's wide open. So I wish they would have been a little more aggressive.
Well, Matt, just kind of narrowing it down to the AL West, because as of this point, with how crowded the wild card race is, there's still maybe a better chance of the division. No one's really separated 100%. Themselves. But when you look at the AL West and these three teams, right now, who would you think has the best chance of taking the division? If anyone. Maybe it's just default, no one wins this year.
Does. Nobody. Okay, so I'm going to throw the Rangers out. I don't believe in them at all. And obviously the front office doesn't either, because we saw reports that DeGrom and Eovaldi both had to exercise a no-trade clause. It's like, well, you're 1.5 games out. Why are you guys having an exercise of no-trade clause? You're trying to give up? That shows how much the front office has hope this season. I don't like the Astros rotation at all, but they've been playing such better baseball than the Mariners right now within the last few weeks. Now, they did lose to the Blue Jays today in a game that they really should not have lost. I mean, they did a 3-0 lead with Hunter Brown on the hill. You shouldn't be blowing that against the Blue Jays. So maybe that shows how vulnerable they are there if the Blue Jays can mount the comeback against Brown. I said 3 or 4 weeks ago on CBS Sports HQ, and I could find the receipts. I'm not just pandering. I said I'm at the point in the season where I'm going down with the ship if the Mariners are going down, and I'm going to continue to say they're going to win the AL West all season, because I had them going to the World Series in the preseason. I said they were going to run away with the AL West. They're close enough. I'm just going to go down with the ship if it's going down, and if it's not, then I'm going to say I was right all along. So I'm going to stay with the Mariners.
All right, that's going to be this year's sort of battle cry. We're going down with the ship, damn it.
Gosh. Hopefully there's no more going down to be done. But
and I was surprised that they did the things that they did. I mean, and starting with trading Castillo, and there was a fair amount of angst here with Mariner fans over the piggyback situation and the 6-man rotation. I wonder if this could be something, obviously not last night, but something that could maybe trigger this rotation to be a little bit more consistent. And, because we found out during this time, Matt, that these pitchers are really particular about, the rest days and the routine and things like that.
Yes. Yeah, and I think maybe part of that was dealing Castillo, who obviously has been the worst one from that group this year. And when you get up to age 33, he's probably fighting age-related regression at this point. So if they think he's cooked, get him out of the equation. Let's just run with these 5. I think that's probably a good move. And I honestly, those 2 walk-off wins over the Twins, I thought, okay, they're going to start turning a corner. Maybe last night was an outlier, and you can just throw that one out. And, it's not an easy stretch of the schedule right here, though. When you look at Tigers, Rays, then at Yankees, at Astros, holy cow.
Yeah. It's a brutal August.
Philly. Good grief. Maybe I don't want to pick the Mariners now. I hadn't looked at that far ahead of the schedule. Look, this is a team that's fully capable. We know about the rotation they have. Even if you don't have like anybody that you would consider an ace, it's 5 really good pitchers, or at least good pitchers. And offensively, I'm sure in a daily radio show you've been over this, so you don't need me to go over the specific names, but there are guys who should be better, even despite the ballpark being difficult to hit in. So I still just think they should be better, but, man, that's a brutal upcoming schedule.
Yeah, I wish we wouldn't have had you look that far ahead. Okay. I thought you were going down with the ship, Matt. No, it's fair. It's fair to be concerned,
I was like, wow, I hadn't looked at that. Okay.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
It's a defining stretch here, especially now with the Astros and that series coming up in about a week. But I think, just real quick, Matt, before we let you go here, what would maybe be a reasonable expectation for Cal Raleigh, or what does he have to do here over this final almost 2 months in order for the Mariners to get back into the playoffs?
What I would like to do, I would say, forget about this year, what we've seen so far this year, and forget about last year, and just try to be the guy that you were in 2023 and 2024. And then that's going to be a very good power hitting catcher who gets on base at a decent clip considering that he has a low average. And that's going to be enough to at least help this team a little bit. You can't expect him to put on that cape and be the guy from last year, I don't think, ever again in his career. And maybe he's putting expectations on himself to be that guy, and that's why the bad start snowballed. But you got to try to get him in the mindset that you just have to be like 2023 and 2024. And honestly, it can help late in the season if you forget about your numbers, because I talked to Mookie Betts last year, and he got hot late in the season. And I said, what happened? And he said, I finally got late enough in the season to where I knew I could not hit my goals. I knew it was impossible, and so I quit thinking about my numbers, and that's when I got locked back in. It's got to be, I mean, if you're at the point where Cal Raleigh is right now, you can't hit any goal right now. It's not possible. Any goal that you would have had preseason. So forget about all that and just try to be the guy that you were in 2024 the rest of the way.
Well, great stuff, Matt. Matt Snyder of CBS Sports covers Major League Baseball for them. Got a lot of good pieces up on CBS Sports right now, including trade deadline recap. They write a little blurb about every team, grade their trade deadline moves. So a lot to check out there. Matt, appreciate the time as always. Thanks for catching up with us, and we'll have to talk to you again soon.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, Matt Snyder from CBS Sports. Good stuff there, as always, from him. Dave, we are at Seahawks training camp, if you haven't figured that out yet. I think the heat and the smoke are telling us that as well. They should be wrapping up shortly-ish, I don't know, within the next hour, so we'll have Ernest Jones joining us on set. But we also are seeing a lot more out here as they get closer to their mock game. And then on August 15th, just 10 days away, their first home preseason game against the Cowboys. So we have a lot to break down from some things that we've seen out here today at training camp. And the ball just hit me. See? This is why we have to have a catcher here. I wish I would have hit that. If we wouldn't have been sitting underneath, I would have grabbed that instead.
You would think if it was going to hit anybody, it would be me.
Well,
right?
I just wish I would have been able to make a play on it. This ball, it snuck in behind me, bounced, and hit me in the back. Kind of rude. All right, interrupted what I was trying to say there, but we'll come back.
Do you hate kickers now? Do you see why
I
hate kickers now?
I get it. Why couldn't he just make it and it wouldn't come hit me? How dare they miss these kicks and hit us out here? All right, so some bad kicks are happening out here at training camp. We have more observations coming up as well. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The champs are back.
So great. Weather's awesome. Guys are in good spirits.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, has your sideline pass every day with Bump and Stacy live from the VMAC from 10 to 2.
We're going to be able to take in practice all week long.
Then Wyman and Bob from 2 o'clock all the way up to Mariners pregame at 6.
Byron Murphy is with us. How are you, man? Put in the work every day, you know.
The very latest news, insight, and exclusive analysis at seattlesports.com.
Hey, Mariners fans, the Law Tigers are teaming up with your Seattle Mariners and Destination Harley-Davidson to give one lucky fan a custom 2026 Street Bob to celebrate 50 seasons. Now, the bike was painted by legendary VC Designs. You can enter now at marinersbike.com. The bike will be given away live at the game on September 22nd. Go to marinersbike.com to enter today. Again, that's marinersbike.com to win. It's Bob Stelton here, and the Law Tigers was born from a passion for the open road. So if you find yourself injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who actually live it, because you need someone who understands the ride. For 25 years, Law Tigers has helped thousands of riders with one mission: to serve the motorcycle community. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, 25 years strong. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. With Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Cook Law Office, PLLC, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, get early access to our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, Brock Heward here for my favorite East Side restaurant, Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar, and my good friend Chef John Howie, who wants to buy you dinner. All you need to do is make a reservation Sunday to Thursday after 8 p.m. You come in, enjoy your meal as always, and when you're finished, roll the dice. Roll a 6, and Chef John will buy your dinner. 100% of all food charges will be removed from your bill. How fun is that? You feeling lucky? Then come roll the dice. Make your reservation now at SeaStarRestaurant.com. That's SeaStarRestaurant.com.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Here it comes. Possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding gets underway at 10 a.m. Thursday, August 6th, and closes at 10 a.m. August 13th. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all going to the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's a packed house here at Seahawks training camp. We'll be wrapping up around 3:30, 3:45-ish. We'll get Ernest Jones sometime shortly thereafter. Fascinated to talk to him. Dave, I know you're a linebacker guy. Yeah, you're going to love talking to another linebacker.
Yeah, we speak a different language.
Yeah, linebacker language.
Some grunting.
Some grunting. That's all you guys communicate with. By the way, did anyone show Uchenna the clip of you getting tackled by Dan Marino? He seemed impressed that you had an interception on Marino and then genuinely seemed like he wanted to know more.
Yeah.
And I told him I'd give it the Clifton ass, and I forgot.
You know what's kind of funny is that when we first interviewed him, he said that same thing because I think somebody brought up the fact that I got tackled by Dan Marino, which I really didn't. I just kind of gave myself up. I just sort of flopped out of bounds.
His body was there, and you kind of stepped over him, but then we're out of bounds.
Something like that. No, I just tried to move, and my thing when I got the ball is I just don't want to fumble it. Okay, that I don't care about a fancy return. I just want to make sure that I secure the ball. And but I remember when we interviewed him before, somebody brought that up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll have to check that out." That was 3 or 4 years ago, so apparently he hasn't checked it out.
Well, someone's got to show him.
He's got better things to do.
All right, I wonder if Ernest Jones would be impressed. Should we ask him? Nah, he's got 5 interceptions. He had 5 last year. He doesn't care about your interceptions.
6.
Oh, 6, right. You keep forgetting, and I keep forgetting. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we sold him short. Yeah. That's a guy that could have a chip on his shoulder because that was bull crap. That really was. That he was not even in the top 10 inside
the linebacker, yeah.
Yeah, on the ESPN rating, or I don't know who's voting on that. They say it's players, but I've also heard that lots of players say I've never been consulted on that. So, but yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting to hear from him and see if maybe he feels a little bit of that. He kind of seems like a guy that wouldn't care about anything said in the media. I think he's kind of old school that way. That would be my prediction, but we'll find out. How about that?
Yeah, we certainly will. Outside of that, I know you and Bob were kind of talking about position battles a couple days ago and whether there really are any true position battles. I don't know if this is a position battle, but would it be something that surprises you if Bud Clark eventually overtakes Ty Okada for the other safety spot opposite of Julian Love? Or have you seen enough from Ty Okada to say, yeah, this is a guy that can be our starting safety for the rest of the season, or at least a good chunk of the season? He is the clear and definitive number 1.
Well, he looks really good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and, you look at some of the things that he did last year. Now, I remember him having a rough game against Tampa Bay, but so did everybody else. That was one of those where, what did they put up, 38 points on us? And it was just a disaster of a game defensively. Just so much so that I could just feel how annoyed Mike Macdonald was with his defense. So, but yeah, you look at that, the interception that he made against the Commanders last year, and I always like to point out, that's the high end of what you get from Ty Okada. That was masterful. I mean, he put his feet down. He catches it on the sidelines and then gets his feet down like a receiver would. Yeah, it was just very, he's just got a tremendous amount of talent. I think people see him. He's not super fast. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he gets to where he needs to be. So, and since that Tampa Bay game, I saw a lot of improvement from him. So, great player to have. Is he as good as Kobe Bryant? No, he's not. So, they need to find whoever that's going to be, and maybe it'll be Ty Okada. We'll see what happens in his 4th year, 3rd year? So, yeah, I mean, he's one of those that they really need to have a good camp.
So that is a position where you think there's a clear need to find a suitable, not improvement, but suitable replacement for Kobe Bryant? Because I think, talking about running back, we assume Jadarian Price will approximate what you lost with Ken Walker. And Boye Mafe got a ton of money, but seems like the Seahawks are fine with their edge depth because they invested in Derek Hall. But would that be the spot where there's still kind of the biggest unknown positionally from the guys you lost?
Are you talking about strong safety?
Yeah, because, hey, drafted Bud Clark, but he's a rookie. He's got to win that job, and maybe he does eventually. And Ty Okada held it down pretty well last year when Kobe Bryant was hurt. But I think if you're looking at things, and Adam Dirty did mention that he has played well, but would that be kind of the unknown as we look around the defense? Strong safety would be the one where I still need to see more out of.
Yeah, I think so, and that's an important part of Mike's defense. I mean, I feel like the places where he really needs good, solid players is in the middle of the defense. So you're talking about Byron Murphy and Big Cat and Jaron Reed. I mean, you got that pretty much locked down. I think Drake Thomas looks a lot better. He looks more like a starter. Last year I thought, it's maybe it's Tyrese Knight, maybe it's him, and then. But you look down, at the safeties over the years in Mike's defense, that's a really important position. So I just think, I hope that Ty Okada or Bud Clark, I hope they push each other so that, we get something good. So if it's either one of those two, you know that Mike's happy with it. Otherwise, they'll try to go and make a trade or do something to get that position filled. So I feel pretty confident about Ty Okada and what he's done this year out here at camp. And if we're going into the season with him as you're starting, because, like you said, Mike, I don't, Bud Clark, I'm excited about him. But anytime you get a rookie, especially if he's not a first-round pick, to play significantly, that's a huge deal.
We'll see. Yeah, we certainly will see. I mean, Bud Clark, personality-wise and interview-wise, far and away, he's already a Pro Bowler. He's a Pro Bowler. The comments on that interview, by the way, are just like, yep, this guy's got infectious energy. What an entertaining kid. What an entertaining interview. So Bud Clark, first team all interview. But other than that, yes, some work to do still, and Ty Okada has had a nice camp. Another guy who showed kind of firsthand last night during the episode of Hard Knocks how vital he is to this team was Cooper Kupp. We'll dive into a little bit more of why he is so vital to not just the receivers, but every part of this Seahawks offense. That's coming up next. Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you at Seahawks training camp. It's Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle sports extends far beyond Western Washington. Every single day, thousands across our state listen and stream Seattle sports, including our neighbors in Spokane listening on KXLX radio. Our thoughts are with everyone in Spokane, where historic fires have already devastated our state's second most populated city. Join Seattle sports in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
Need a lift? At Levitt Machinery, we take a different approach to help you lift more and worry less. We take the time to learn how you work. Then we match your business with equipment that solves your unique challenges. From forklifts and telehandlers to track loaders and excavators, we make sure you get the right equipment at the right cost. Because when your equipment does its job, you can focus on yours. Talk to Levitt Machinery today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. Let people come first.
August is always a time of excitement because football is back. But anyone that watches practice or preseason games knows how much work needs to be done before the season starts. If you're feeling the same about your home project, Harley Exteriors wants to help you get a head start on making sure your home is ready for fall football nights. $500 off each window, $750 off patio and entry doors, and $200 off your final project. Spend a few minutes with the folks at Harley Exteriors during your free estimate, and you'll realize you have a lot in common. They love our local teams, they're good at what they do, and they'll take care of your home. Use Harley Exteriors to complete your home project this month and receive 12 or 18-month promotional financing.
Qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval and lender terms. Minimum purchase of 4 qualifying windows required. Windows must be 36 by 36 inches or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to approved credit. Offers cannot be combined with other promotions. Offer expires August 31st, 2026.
HarleyExteriors.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Brian Wu gets the ball for the Mariners tonight, Game 2 against the Tigers. It's a 6:40 first pitch. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:30 right here on Seattle Sports. Now, the Tigers are going with a bullpen day. Their first man up, right-hander Drew Anderson, but a handful of relievers will be pitching today for the Tigers. Meanwhile, in baseball, a lot of day games happening on this Wednesday. Astros fall to the Blue Jays 5-4. The Rangers beat the Giants 6-0. So the Rangers are 57-58. Mariners creeping back up on them. Astros fall to 59-57 on the season. Mariners still within striking distance of them as well. We'll certainly talk about that throughout the show. And in the first preseason coaches poll, UW football ranked number 19 in the first coaches poll of the season.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you out at Seahawks training camp, where Dave Wyman is a celebrity. The people come near and far to take pictures, to talk to him. Crowds gathered around you during the break. I'm over here trying to frantically wave you down. You're just a man of the people out here, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. No, I was talking to the cheerleaders because the Seahawk dancers, they're called now. It used to be called Seagals. And so I was telling them, I'm like, how long you guys? I asked them, how long they've been cheering, and then told them that my wife was a Seagal for 7 years, and her 3 best friends, they're just as tight as can be. Tandy, Heather, Sarah, they still hang out to this day, and they were cheering back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I was like, now you guys could all be old ladies and still be friends.
I'm sure they loved that. You telling them you could be old ladies, and then now
friends.
They've scattered.
Yeah.
So they conveniently have now disappeared from the premises.
Yeah, they were very sweet. They were very nice. So
yeah.
They're probably going, oh, geez, what's this old guy want? But yeah, it was. That's always kind of stood out to me that yeah, they're thick as thieves, man. Everything is always Tandy, Heather, and Sarah, and Heather being Paul Moyer's wife, by the way, who we have on the show weekly. So, yeah, it was cool. Yeah, when you're young, you don't think about those kinds of things, right? Yeah. So they're probably like, maybe they'll remember it later in life.
Tell them to write that down, and then they'll go on their way. Yeah, we are out here at Seahawks training camp, and it's fascinating being here after you kind of see how this team is portrayed on a show like Hard Knocks. And that adds a really nice element to training camp where we're out here every year. You know, we see this team and we see them practice. And then we talk to players, Dave, or they do their media sessions and we hear the quotes that come out. A ton of people cover them. But we don't get to go in the building. They literally separate themselves. They go in, and that's it. Our knowledge of the Seahawks is done. They do their meetings. They do whatever. So we don't really get a lot past what we see with our eyes out at practice and then what we can talk to the players about. But there's a whole other world in there. As you know, you've gone through it. But I think to see that adds just another dynamic to the whole picture of learning more about the Seahawks team. And one thing that we really learned in just one episode last night, the premiere episode of Hard Knocks, was just how important Cooper Kupp is to this entire football team. Not just the receivers, I think the entire Seahawks team. Cooper Kupp is a vital part of what they do.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and that's a testament to Snyder and Mike Macdonald and the kind of guys that they want here. And so Cooper Kupp, yeah, I mean he is he's a very interesting guy from the standpoint of like his knowledge of the game. And, you know, like we kind of alluded to earlier that, you know, there's a scene where he's in with Mike and Mike is asking him some kind of question. And he said something about, oh, they were all from under center or something like that. Maybe it was something about categorizing a certain play or whatever. And Mike Macdonald is sitting there with Cooper Kupp and goes, why didn't I think of that, man? And you see Cooper Kupp just kind of shaking his head like, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people don't understand like how valuable that is to have a guy like that. And, you know, in spite of, you know, whether you thought he had a great year or was Cooper Kupp worth the money, he absolutely was. So, you know, there's lots that goes into it. And I think there's not a team that values those kinds of players as much as the Seahawks do. So, and for Mike to be sitting there talking to Cooper Kupp is kind of interesting. He's a defensive guy. That's the thing you also got from the show that, you know, having good defensive minds really, like, it seems like the offensive players and offensive coaches want to know more about defense and vice versa. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's that was kind of one of those telling moments. And I like that Mike is openly able to say, why didn't I think of that? You know, a lot of guys might, oh yeah, sure, all right, of course, that. But, you know, for him to admit to that, I thought was a really cool moment. Maybe my favorite part, other than Sam dropping his ring when he first opened the box for the ring. But, yeah, that Cooper Kupp, I've told this story before. When we were in Jacksonville, I was going down for like a late snack the night before the game, and, you know, they had players, and we get access to that and everything. And sitting off to the side was Aiden Dirty and Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp was sitting there talking to, and I kind of heard, you know, caught a few sentences of what they were talking about, but they were talking about defense. And Cooper Kupp was, you know, telling Aiden Dirty thing. They were having this whole discussion, and I can't remember exactly what the specifics were. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop or anything, but, you know.
You're like, let me sit down here and eat more.
Yeah.
Do I need thirds of this meal?
Can I sit next to you guys and just listen? I won't say anything, I promise. But, yeah, I mean, and really it was more Cooper Kupp asking Aiden Dirty questions. So, yeah, it was interesting and kind of telling to see that, you know, Cooper Kupp is huge in this building. And, you know, what he means, and looks like he's definitely going to be a coach at some point. But just, you know, all of the different places that they've gotten information from. Who was the kicker that was part of the consultation last year? Hauschka. Yeah, Stephen Hauschka. That, you know, he was giving them some ideas. So Mike is always open to take advice from anywhere. And so for him to be sitting there talking to a receiver, it sounded like they were talking about defensive things. That I thought that was really interesting and really kind of summed up what Mike Macdonald's mindset is that, like, he's just trying to get as much information as he possibly can from everybody. That's chasing edges right there.
That dynamic really did kind of resonate with me too. I think for a number of reasons, because you've always mentioned how, you know, when you played, you had the upstairs and downstairs. So a player wouldn't go up and have that relationship with a coach, certainly let alone sit there and dissect film and share ideas. So for Mike Macdonald to be able to do that and value Cooper Kupp's opinion, and they are more along the lines of kind of peer-to-peer. Macdonald's 39, Cooper Kupp's 33. So I think they can probably relate on a number of items. Maybe Cooper Kupp has the same sense of humor as Mike Macdonald. So that's an automatic win from Macdonald's perspective. The fact that, he almost feels like, judging by that scene and the way the dawning realization from Macdonald and the fist bump at the end, that's kind of funny. It was like a over-the-top fist bump almost. It was a little bit of an awkward form there from Macdonald. Instead of just the bump, it was kind of like an over-the-top trying to come down and like hammer it if you're doing rock, paper, scissors kind of fist bump. But just to be able to trust someone like that on the other side of the ball, I'm sure it's a valuable resource for Macdonald, who he does oversee the entire team, sure, and he wants to know everything that's going on. But we talked about this, that when you're a head coach who also calls plays on defense, on the offensive side, there's kind of a level of autonomy. And whether that's the offensive coordinator or what the offense is doing, Mike Macdonald's not going to be overly involved day in and day out like he is with the defense, where he needs to know to the nitty-gritty of everything happening. So for him to kind of use Cooper Kupp as that resource, that really struck me into what you said about, okay, this guy is a coach in waiting. Yeah, his value right now lies in his ability to coach while he's still playing. Beyond just Macdonald, we saw him talking to JSN, sitting in the quarterback room. That's another aspect I want to get into. The fact that he's got that relationship with the quarterbacks. I'm sure that goes a long way if you're a quarterback to knowing this receiver wants to be invested in everything you're doing and kind of is sitting along with you to understand what you guys are working on.
Yeah, and somebody pointed that out, actually. The 360 just echoed what you said. He was also in the quarterback room as well. So, I mean, it's very cool, the exchange of ideas and how it used to be just kind of sectioned off, offense, defense. And so, really, really interesting. The other thing is the 206 points out, the Rams let that kind of leadership leave the building for nothing. Idiots.
And on both sides. Ernest Jones, too.
Ernest Jones as well. The guy I was just going to say that. Guy we're talking to after practice here, another guy that they sort of cast away. So, it's that's really interesting, and I'm wondering if they're looking at that going, maybe we should have used his resources a little bit more. Because sometimes, coaches have egos. And, if they – and I kind of noticed that's – I don't know that that's necessarily a theme with Mike Macdonald of, not having – not listening to somebody just because of your ego. You want to act like you know everything, basically. And, for them to open up is really smart to get the best out of Cooper Kupp. I wonder if that was happening with Sean McVay and, down in L.A. Was he giving Cooper Kupp enough of a voice?
Maybe that's why they're so salty. What do you think?
Rams?
The Rams. They let two players who had vital roles for the Seahawks win a Super Bowl walk out of their building.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could have fixed that, right? I mean, I don't know how they let him leave. And I remember Cooper was also talking about that, where he was kind of like, I can't remember what interview it was, but you could tell that he was kind of perplexed by the fact that they let him go.
Yeah, we don't have to go back and relitigate that. I think there were injury concerns, and they needed someone who could step in as a true wide receiver outside of Puka, so they brought in Devontae Adams. But, it's benefited the Seahawks immensely, and I think it's going to go a long way to smoothing this transition and helping someone like Brian Fleury adapt to play calling and adapt to calling an NFL offense for the first time. He spoke, it might have been just his second big scrum since getting hired here, but he spoke yesterday to the media after practice, and Fleury was talking about Kupp's leadership ability and his love for the game.
He just, until you work in a building with him, you don't appreciate his love for every aspect of football. We've had so many conversations about how the O-line is blocking run plays and things that are completely outside of the normal realm of his position group. So that's been really cool to experience, and I admire that.
What do you think for a guy like Brian Fleury, who the scrutiny is on him? He's under the microscope. He's going through a training camp, kind of in a prominent role for the first time. What do you think he's dealing with going through these practices right now?
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen him, like, every time that you see him on Hard Knocks and then just out here, he doesn't seem to talk a lot. Like, he kind of sits back and he's, talking into the little speaker, microphone or whatever that in Sam Darnold's helmet. And it just seems like he's kind of taking it all in. And I think he's also doing a good job of, he has to be the one to make the changes as far as terminology. And again, quote the great Michael Bumpus, who's a really good coach and comes on with Stacy right before our show, that if you as the coach change your dialogue, it's just one guy has to learn it. Whereas if you try to make the entire team adapt to what you're doing and how you label things, then everybody, then there's too many people that are having to make that change. So, yeah, it's a really wise way to go about it. And it just kind of looks to me like Fleury is just sort of taking everything in. And I think it's a fairly similar offense. But, for him to not be saying a whole lot, I think is kind of interesting because, people, if you are a direct communicator, what you want to do is say, here's how we're going to get from A to B with the least words possible and the least terminology. So I feel like that's kind of the route that he's going. And Brian Fleury has been pretty impressive in that regard.
Yeah, he did do a sit-down interview here with Bump and Stacy. Well, Curtis and Bump earlier today, so I'd highly recommend checking out that interview. It'll be on their podcast page, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page. We don't get to hear one-on-one from coordinators much because I don't think they're available often during the season. So very insightful to hear from him as well. Would highly recommend checking out that interview. But there was a lot more from Brian Fleury yesterday when he was talking with the media because they had these same questions as well. Hey, play calling, what's this like? What's all happening for you in this very first training camp in this role? And they asked him, and he kind of was weighing in on the biggest difference from being a position coach to now being an offensive coordinator.
Obviously, you're overseeing the entire group. I'm used to installing into the entire group, but now just having to make sure that I'm paying attention to every aspect of every single drill. There are times as a position coach you can kind of hunker down in your bunker and just focus on your own guys, and now I don't have that luxury anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot going on there. He's got to coordinate the offensive line with the quarterbacks, tight ends, receivers, the whole thing. So it's looked smooth, though, some of the things that they've run. And remember, I mean, if you see a bad play offensively, you're going up against the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
And that's got to be difficult every once in a while. And I would imagine every once in a while, maybe Mike goes over and says, hey, we're trying to work on this play. Could you not blow up Byron Murphy? Could you not blow up the double team here? And, so, I mean, look, I think that's also useful and helpful for the players to, go against a really good team that is, one of the best defenses in the league. But I think that, every once in a while you probably have to say, hey, let's tone it down a little bit and let our offense get some work.
Well, and I think the big unknown for Fleury and for this offense won't be answered until, you play other competition. You're not going to know how he deals with adjustments or a defense is showing a look they're not familiar with, or if a couple of drives get stymied, how you adjust to play calling and what that involves because he's never done it. So, yeah, you can go in and script some plays and you can have all the experience in the world and know how to relate to guys and have great ideas. When you're truly kind of thrown into the cauldron there, I guess only experience will kind of show what he can do. And Fleury was kind of talking about that when he was breaking down the adjustment to play calling.
I mean, I've thought as a play caller for a long time. Obviously, doing it for the first time at this level is going to present some challenges. Mike is doing a great job of putting me through the ringer in terms of challenging situations. We go through different ones every day. For some reason, we're always down by a touchdown with 50 seconds left and no timeouts. I don't know who's burning through the timeouts, but it definitely it helps me adjust to those situations.
Yeah, can you imagine sitting down with Mike Macdonald and trying to explain why am I trying to do this, and all of a sudden he's just blowing up your play, with his defenses. So, yeah, that's an interesting dynamic. And the more, I hear about it, the more I like that this is a defensive-minded coach. So, because look, Mike, there was a couple of times where, other teams, I mean, we talk about this defense and how good they were, but, there were times where they were had a few times on defense and, struggled a little bit. So, I mean, they only lost 3 games the entire year, but, as we watched Jadarian Price rip off a 30-yard run right there, which looks really good, and he's looked great. But, yeah, I mean, that's a tremendous benefit to Fleury and, having Mike Macdonald okay, why'd you do this? Why are you running this play in this situation? And that's really going to be the biggest thing for Fleury. I mean, obviously, I think he's doing a great job with the installation and everything, but it's going to be the sequencing of play calling and why did you do this, and why didn't you set this play up, and there's going to be lots of learning going on for Brian Fleury.
Well, how important, along those lines, how important do you think the joint practice with the Titans will be? And we've already seen how vital Mike Macdonald holds those joint practices, but for someone like Fleury to then say, yeah, all right, this is the first time I'm going up against different competition, guys that might not truly know what I want to do. You're going up against the ones from another team.
Yeah.
Maybe more representative of facing an opponent in the regular season, because I just think back to last year. Obviously, Clint Kubiak's offense worked. They won a Super Bowl. It looked great down the stretch. But week one was a little rough. There was a learning curve there. Is it just too much to ask that by week one, everything will be smoothed out? Is that just part of the process when you're breaking in a new coordinator and he has to do it for the first time against different competition?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too cocky about it because, look, I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm just a fan. But, as far as going from Grubb's offense to Kubiak's offense, that's a huge transition. And for them to be able to do that in the first year, go to the Super Bowl and win it is amazing. But this is way less of a jump, right? I mean, Fleury has run this offense in San Francisco, and that's where Sam was, and that's where Sabi was, and those of us on the
good old
inside
Sabi,
call him
yeah.
Sabi. Eric Sauber.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We did that interview, Dave, so we can
That's
call him
right.
that.
We can call him that. But yeah, I mean, it's not as much of a leap. Definitely, it's pretty similar. There'll be some things that are tweaked here and there, but I have a lot more confidence that the offense can maybe hit the ground running, because they really didn't. And especially in the run game, they weren't where they wanted to be, and they just kept with it all season long. They were top 5 as far as run attempts. And, it finally cracked open, and they end up getting 100 yards in the playoffs out of, there's EJ, our guy, and Julian Love busting through, making a tackle for a loss right there in front of us. So anyway, but yeah, that for them to stick with it, hopefully it won't be as painful as it was last year watching that run game develop. They'll get started a little quicker.
Well, I know they were joking around, but hey, if the first episode of Hard Knocks is any indication, the offense looks really good, because they kept showing clips of, well, how about that conversation between Darnold and Macdonald? And Mike Macdonald goes over there. He's like, hey, you're carving us up there. I mean, look at this. And Darnold's having fun. Like, yeah, I'm going to switch up the cadence. I'm going to get him there. And we saw, you've talked about it, and Fleury has talked about it, all the motion that they want to use and why that's important. So it could add certainly another wrinkle to this offense. And I think one big thing that puts this offense ahead of where it was last year that should certainly be a huge boost for someone like Brian Fleury to ease into week one or in the early weeks is that your whole offensive line is back. And you and Bob have stressed this, how important that continuity is on the offensive line. Think about last year, week one. Gray Zabel's very first game. Now, he turned into an incredible player, but his first game. Yeah. Anthony Bradford, we know the up and down, so he's still figuring out. Jalen Sundell had never really had a season where he'd been the starter, and he's the starting center. So you're going through all of that. Now all these guys are back, anchored by your two stalwarts on the end there with Charles Cross and Abe Lucas, and you have that continuity in the middle. I feel like that just helps way more than where you were starting from square one last year.
Yeah, even Gray Zabel. Remember, I mean, he struggled a couple of times in the early part of the season, and then just, he's going to be much, he's older and wiser, and knows the speed. There's going to be, he had some of those welcome to the NFL rookie moments. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of reason to think that this transition to this new offensive coordinator is going to go much more smoothly than it did last year.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what happens. It's tough to say, hey, you want to force feed some adversity or find a way to almost manufacture some adversity for Brian Fleury in a low stress situation. I don't know if that's possible to do, but hey, Mike Macdonald's probably the best guy to try to conjure up something, whether that's in the mock game that's this Saturday, by the way, and it's more of a structured setting. It's not too different from what they're doing out here, but then yeah, you have that game on the 15th against the Cowboys, the joint practice soon after against the Titans. I wonder if you're going to see more, and seems like we always throw this out there every preseason. I wonder if you're going to see more of the ones, a little bit longer or deeper in the preseasons than we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
And there's that risk reward. You have highly paid guys. You don't want to injure them in the preseason, but you're also breaking in a rookie running back. I imagine you'd want to see what he can do in pass protection, working in the flow of that. So, hey, maybe we'll see for the sake of entertainment, I would want that. Maybe we see the ones go a little bit deeper in the preseason, whether that's playing longer in a game or playing in week 3 where they normally wouldn't have done it in the past. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. You mentioned the joint practice. I am a huge fan of those.
Yeah.
I just think it's really valuable for coaches, and so yeah, maybe that'll be a reason why they start a little bit faster because again, I mean, preseason games don't always go the way you want them to. If you want to work on certain things, you can get that done in a joint practice situation. So I think that's going to help them as well. But yeah, I just think the transition is going to be much smoother going to Brian Fleury, from Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, hope so. All right, well, practice still going on here at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center when they do wrap up. Probably in the 3:45 to 4 o'clock range. I mean, you should be listening regardless anyway, but if for some reason you have to go away from wherever you're listening, come back around then. Ernest Jones is going to join us out here, sit down with us live on set at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. We come back, though, we're going to go into a little bit of a hypothetical as it revolves around Devin Witherspoon and maybe how it could correlate to what has happened already this offseason. Because I think the way that we're thinking about Devin Witherspoon's contract might have been a little bit different if one thing hadn't already happened earlier this offseason. We'll get into that. It's What If Wednesday coming up next here. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
You hear about it first on Seattle Sports.
A-Rod, what are you doing this weekend?
I got a call from Mr. John Stanton. He invited me to the very special weekend to be part of the top 50, so I'm very excited.
Was this important to you?
I've been getting booed there for 27 years, so I kind of had lost hope this story would come full circle, and I'm over the moon, and thank God for the opportunity.
Watch in its entirety on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
In January, a Portland teenager at Goodwill stumbled upon a 1972 playoff warm-up jacket worn by Wilt Chamberlain. He bought it for $3. I can only imagine how the person who used to own that is feeling now. And now you may not be sitting on a warm-up jacket worn by Wilt the Stilt, but there's serious value to some of the gold, jewelry, watches, silver, and coins you have at home or laying around in storage. Dave Wyman here encouraging you to see what those items might be worth at Bellevue Rare Coins. They'll give you an honest, no-pressure assessment, allowing you to make a decision on whether to sell and how much to sell for. Bellevue Rare Coins is a trusted local business serving Washington since 1979, and they've expanded to 4 locations in Bellevue, Issaquah, Tacoma, and Linwood. Gold and silver reached all-time highs earlier this year, and there's no guarantee they'll stay this high. So cash in now, and at the very least, see how much the things that you have laying around the house or in storage are worth. Go to BellevueRareCoins.com.
Your neighbors at Three Tree Roofing love telling you no. No high-pressure sales pitches. No Band-Aid fixes that will fail come wintertime. No outrageous pricing from some corporate-owned roofing company with headquarters thousands of miles from here. Three Tree Roofing is local, family-owned, and their team will build you a worry-free plan for your roof replacement, completely free. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and call today to say yes to an additional $500 discount. That's 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road. Ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
What? It's time for What If Wednesday.
Coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt.
Wyman and Bob rewrite the scripts of major moves and moments in sports every Wednesday afternoon. Now step into an alternative reality with Wyman and Bob.
What If Wednesday is presented by Mazda of Everett. Dave, I'm wondering, what if you steal my cookie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, there was 2 left.
I might fight you over
I regret,
the last one.
I regret putting it right here.
What exactly is that?
In eye shot of you. Salted caramel cookie.
What
Buttery
is the-
sweet salty crunch.
What's the brand name? 'Cause these are like the
I don't
most
know.
phenomenal cookies
Cookie.
ever.
Manifesto. Cookie.
Manifesto. There we go. Really good for you, too.
Yeah. What if Dave eats my cookie? That's the question. I just plopped it right down, noticed you were staring at it, and now I'm kind of worried here.
I was actually watching practice, Mike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, practice still going on. Ernest Jones will join us out here when it does wrap up. But, Dave, I don't know if this has created an artificial worry or if, you're not worried at all. It's just something that has become kind of a big contrast because of the differences in the 2 contracts. But JSN and Devin Witherspoon both became extension eligible this offseason. And we know what happened with JSN. His deal has been done for months now, it feels like. I wish I remembered the exact time. It's been done and in the books for so long that we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Wasn't it like mid-March?
Yes, there it is. Yeah, towards the end of March, March 23rd. March 23rd, the season had just ended. Yeah, the new league year had happened about a week after free agency. So, yes, to put that in extreme contrast, JSN's contract was signed at the end of March. Here we are. Into training camp. It's week 2 of training camp. We're a month away from the season beginning, and Devin Witherspoon has not signed a contract extension. So what if JSN had not signed his extension so early? Do you think we'd be as worried about Witherspoon? Would it have any relation to it at all? Or because JSN signed his deal and that was a smooth process. Has it made us worry about Devin Witherspoon when normally we wouldn't have worried about it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I look, it's starting to be a concern. I don't, honestly, the way, and everybody saw it on Hard Knocks, the way he's practicing out there and the way he talks and everything, you don't get the impression that he's not going to get it done. That seems to be like an impossibility right now. So, yeah, I mean, but you're right. It does. I mean, if JSN hadn't gotten done like right away, you know, would it still be hanging over his head, or maybe he would be like a Spoon and be out here practicing on the good faith that Snyder is going to redo his deal? But yeah, I mean, that one, and the one that's really I thought was more urgent was Devin Witherspoon. He's the higher draft choice.
Yeah,
he was number 5 and JSN was number 20. But, you know, JSN obviously earned that, and I don't know, maybe it had to do with the agent and maybe what the agent wants, but it's it's kind of interesting how this thing has gone. But I would say this, like, I'm looking at number 21 right now, you know, and you saw him on Hard Knocks. He's practicing his tail off. So that doesn't indicate that there's any kind of a problem, but maybe not going as smoothly as they want. And I think also it shows a lot of the character of Devin Witherspoon and why you want to pay him, is that he's out there practicing his tail off without a contract. Or he's got a contract, but, you know, he's looking for a new deal.
He has another year left as well, so it's not like this is something that's going to happen at the end of the year. It's just the worry becomes the fact that they've been actively negotiating, and both sides been trying to get something done, and then you become maybe almost perilously close to having to pay way more than you wanted to because the market always gets reset. And that's why it's important for guys to kind of get that deal. And you joked, it's for all of like 11 seconds. But for the team as well, you pay them at a set price point before it becomes so prohibitive that then you can't pay everyone else. So I wonder if maybe that's the urgency on the Seahawks end, and perhaps there's not as much on Devin Witherspoon's. I am curious if they're actively negotiating, or if, in a sense, maybe with what Devin Witherspoon said on Hard Knocks about, hey, he knows he should be paid, it's not going to affect his performance, if his camp, if they have just given an offer and they've almost said, no, this is it, this is our offer, and the Seahawks have said, no, this is our offer, I'm almost now kind of talking myself into the worry that are they so far apart that they're not negotiating? Almost like the MLB and MLBPA, where these two sides are so diametrically opposed when it comes to a salary cap, there's going to be no discussion because they know nothing productive will come of it. And maybe it's that deadline Spurs action where right now you're still kind of far away from needing to actually have to pay Witherspoon because he has another year left after this year, and maybe they've just almost stopped contract talks.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if that was the case. I know that's the worry, and the longer it goes, the more it's like, come on, man. Like, he's on Hard Knocks, and he's talking about it, but he's out there practicing his tail off. What are we supposed to think about this? Yeah, I get the worry. But, you know, it could get done at any time, you know. And so I just think it's going to get done because he's too valuable of a player. And I probably, if they were that far apart, do you think maybe his agent would tell him, hey, maybe don't participate with the Hard Knocks thing?
Yeah.
Because they had him, driving in his car?
That's true. That's a good point. The old hold in and maybe not be as receptive. Yeah, they were in the car with him. The little ride along to work thing. Yeah.
So, I mean, everything that he is doing indicates that there's not a problem. So, I find it hard to believe. I mean, I'm trying to remember the name of the agent that was Marshawn's. Doug Hendrickson, maybe? Or anyway, I mean, remember John and him were screaming and yelling at each other. That's just kind of, and then at the end of the conversation, I'm sure it's like, love you, bro, or whatever. But I think John definitely sees the value of Witherspoon. And, the other thing is, John, I think there was a lot of people that were very surprised that Spoon got picked at number 5. And I think a lot of people, would think, why in the world would you do that when you got a player like JSN that's out there? But I mean, you see the value, and you see that, Devin Witherspoon doesn't want to go anywhere else. So yeah, it is kind of an annoyance, and I feel like it can happen at any time. But am I worried? I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all.
What about Brady Henderson's theory when he came on with you and Bob a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Where he said that he thinks Devin Witherspoon is waiting to sign an extension until it could air on an episode of Hard Knocks. So in that sense, I mean, it could get done in the next couple of weeks. Maybe you think it's the final episode of Hard Knocks. They get it done. It leads into the season. Everything's taken care of business. Feeds into the storyline of the champs are locked in, ready, whatever the great imagery and kind of storytelling they did at the start of the episode yesterday. If that kind of carries over into the final episode.
Yeah, maybe. And that's a good advertisement for the the agent, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to attract other clients. So maybe that they draw a lot more attention, and now all of a sudden he becomes the agent who, you remember when I got Witherspoon signed during Hard Knocks and all that, nice advertisement for him. So that very well could be also. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of far-fetched, just because I feel like it's about business and they're going to get it done. But maybe there's a little bit of fanfare that's going on with that.
I'll tell you, I would feel a lot better if Christian Gonzalez just signed a contract.
Yeah.
Because that's what we heard, is that this agent is kind of playing them off of one another, trying to leverage each client to get more money for the other one, which I don't really like, that the fortunes of the Seahawks and a key player are tied to someone else. I don't know if you call it a conflict of interest because they are on different teams and they play the same position, but it's a little, unseemly. It's a little, not illegal, obviously, but it's not something that feels good when you have to rely on an agent who potentially has another player's best interest at heart before you can negotiate here. I guess it's just part of the business, though, and hey, they're all far more experienced at dealing with this than we are. So we'll see. It's something that will continue to loom over Hard Knocks, and maybe it does get done, or maybe it drags into the season, but it will continue to be a big storyline out here at Seahawks training camp. We have a lot to talk about as well when it comes to the Seahawks. They did just now, literally just finished practice, so Ernest Jones will either make his way over now or we'll wait until 4 o'clock. But at some point, we'll catch up with Ernest Jones out here at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The champs are back.
So great. Weather's awesome. Guys are in good spirits.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, has your sideline pass every day with Bump and Stacy live from the VMAC from 10 to 2.
We're going to be able to take in practice all week long.
Then Wyman and Bob from 2 o'clock all the way up to Mariners pregame at 6.
Byron Murphy is with us. How are you, man? Put in the work every day,
The very latest news, insight, and exclusive analysis at seattlesports.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hon, is your new pinball machine in our budget?
KeyBank will meet you in that our money is now our money moment.
Actually, our banker Steve recommended we start a joint checking account for bills and keep our individual accounts for things like, pinball machines.
Did someone say Banker Steve? I was in the neighborhood, in case you had any checking account questions.
Steve, you're always there for us. Now, how quickly can we open that account?
Steve, are you seeing this?
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank member FDIC.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state. If the customer wants to be met in Seattle, then let's get that car from Kirkland to Seattle so that customer can come in there and transact.
The Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Ward C. Mueller and Associates reminds parents swimming is a healthy outlet for kids if we remember to put safety first. Make sure your children are visible by a responsible adult or lifeguard at all times. Sign your children up for swimming lessons and provide them a flotation device for added safety. Always check swimming conditions in advance and coach your kids to never swim alone. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Ward C. Mueller and Associates. Family owned since 1955, providing top quality services for all your land surveying needs.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports. And Doug.
Hot dog, get your hot dog.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, get early access to our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mike Lefkoe and Dave Wyman live from Seahawks training camp. Please be joined now by Seahawks linebacker Ernest Jones. Ernest, I know we've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. Thanks for joining us, man. How's it going?
Of course, man. Thank y'all for having me. It's great playing ball back with the guys, so I'm enjoying it.
Looks great out here. How we talked about this. These fans are just incredible. They pack the berm.
Mm-hmm.
How is it for you guys? Do you notice them during practice? Are you able to tune them out? And then what's it like afterwards when they're just swarming, wanting autographs, take pictures?
Yeah.
What's that like to
honestly?
play in
It's
front
so
of these fans?
it's so cool. You definitely notice them during practice. For the defensive side, it's usually when the offense makes a play. That's when we hear them the most. But that's what puts butts in the house. So. But we enjoy it. We get to see these fans. We get to sign these, sign autographs. They come out. They support us really heavily during the season. So it's just good for us to show them some love at the end of the day, too.
Ernest, what's it like walking around a Super Bowl champion during the offseason? What was that like? What any interesting experiences or anything? And has it even hit home yet?
Yeah, it hits home now. I think I definitely, understand what we did for this city. And you can feel it. Like, I remember times I would go out to the farmer's market and, like, there was no shot that I'd be able to do this, like, every day. Like, everyone was noticing who I was, and that's kind of different for me. So it's kind of funny when I go in the grocery store and somebody recognizes me and I'm like, hey, keep it down before you alert someone else. And honestly, they still alert people, but it's fun. The fans here show us so much love, so I love it.
Have you had enough time to appreciate it now, kind of put it past you, or is it something where you still want to hold on to that and what you guys did well to carry into this season? How do you balance it? Like, yeah, we were really good. We won a Super Bowl, but also this is a new season, as you guys have talked about.
Yeah, I think the way we balance it is I think we set a standard, and I think the standard's been building, for 2 years, at least the 2 years that I've been here. But we set a standard. We want to win, and whatever that means, if that's Super Bowls, whatever it is, we want to win each and every game. And we're still taking it one day at a time. It's kind of hard not to look at your success and be like, okay, let's just copy that. But you can't copy. You can only start back from ground zero, build to, where we got to, build to becoming a great team, but using those experiences to also, like, propel you into, like, knowing, like, having confidence in knowing that you got a good team.
EJ, I think we must have played your quote maybe 15 times last year after the Ram game where you come to the defense of Sam Darnold. Just loved that. Tell us about your relationship, and just I felt like that was really the point, because you didn't lose another game after that.
Yeah.
I think it was because of your quote.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that kind of unity is rare. That in the NFL, and for you to express that was just that was an unbelievable moment, and I think that really kind of solidified who you guys were as 100%. A team.
I think that was a big moment. I think a lot of people, a lot of teams, they'll try to copy what we have, but it's authentic and it's truly genuine here. And this is a different place than where I've been in, in past places. Like the way these guys, we truly love each other and we want to win. We want to go out there, and it doesn't matter who's getting the personal glory. As long as we're getting wins, we know that our own personal success will come. And me and Sam, honestly, we've always had a relationship as enemies. Sam almost threw me a pick last year and I dropped it. So it was kind of something there. But once he became my teammate, man, I just looked at his work, man. Sam came in, head down, and just led our offense. And in that moment, I wouldn't allow my quarterback or any of my teammates to feel like all the blame should be on them. Yeah. We all had our fair share in that game, and we could have came out with a win even with what happened. So Sam's my dog. Sam knows I got his back, and these guys know if you ever need somebody to come fight with you, just call me. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Call number 13.
Yes, please do.
There we go, on speed dial. Well, can you tell us a little bit more about that, Ernest? Just being a leader, is that something that you actively think about? Does it come natural for you, or how do you kind of show this team and everyone out here that you are a leader?
I think, when it comes to this team, you do about actions, especially with me coming in, in the middle of a season. I had to come in and show, my work, and that's how I was able to, earn the respect of those guys then. And I think leadership comes from, it's kind of how you were raised, in my opinion. My mom did not want to follow her. I was going to set my own race. I was going to do my thing, and I wasn't going to be influenced by others. And I think I just carried that. And then it's kind of natural for me now. It's just me being me, knowing that at times that I have to use my voice in the ways that maybe I don't want to, but knowing that I can use my voice to get through to people, to get through a team, to get through a defense, it's just me now. I take pride in it. I love doing it, and it's something that, I want to teach my kids, and I just want to continue to pass it on.
Hey, talk to us about your I always tried to, if my D-line was out, they never paid for a beer, try to take care of those guys. I played behind Cortez Kennedy.
100%.
Oh, my God. I mean, those kind of guys, I mean, they're so unselfish. And to kind of describe your relationship with Murph and Big Cat and all those defensive linemen.
Those are the guys I'm coming to fight first, regardless. Those guys know that if they need me at the drop of a dime, I'm going to be there. And our relationship is really good. We joke around, we play all day, but they know that I have their back. Yeah. And I'm dependent on them. They're dependent on me to, make them look good, and they make me look really good. So we do take care of them. We were actually saying today in the linebacker room, hey, we need to at least once a week get these guys some steaks and just make sure they're taken care of because they do a hell of a job for us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great stuff. Hey, what's your dynamic and kind of relationship like with Mike Macdonald? He has talked so glowingly about you, and we see you as a linebacker as kind of the extension of him in this defense. What's that dynamic like between you two?
I mean, we got a really good relationship. We talk about life a lot. But honestly, I want to make it as easy on Mike as possible. Mike's already got a lot on his hands with defense, with the team in general. So me being an extension of him and being able to, spot things out before they happen, get our guys lined up, and he doesn't have to use his voice as much for that. That's what I'm here for. We got blessed with a hell of a coach, like a guy that loves football, and he loves us. So in all honesty, I just try to do my best to make it easier on him, go out there and just calm everybody down and make sure he can just focus on what he needs to focus on and let us go to work.
Seems like you've reevaluated maybe what your favorite play is. We were talking about it before you came on.
100%.
6 interceptions, including the playoffs.
Yes,
that's pretty sweet. You said tackles, but those interceptions.
It's something different when you get that ball now. Yeah. I love it now. Honestly, every time I used to tell guys, like, when I catch an interception, like, I'm just going to go down. But, man, I want to run and go for touchdowns now. Like, I want to score, too. I want to feel what Jax feels all the time. So, definitely I would say interceptions have taken over for tackles, and I love those.
Yeah.
I wish you would have given that advice to this former linebacker, because that's what
I was the worst
run
back guy in the world. The worst. I mean, I'd make a good play, but then – yeah, I was just awful. I was always afraid I was going to fumble the ball back.
100%. That is a scare. That is a scare, but high and tight and just pray that you come down with it.
Do you get to work on ball security? I mean, are you practicing that ever, or do you just kind of instinctively know, I better protect this thing so I don't get it often?
It's that. I better protect it because it's not going to come every time. But also, I played a little running back growing up. I've had the ball in my hands a couple times, so I remember how I was supposed to do it.
Yeah, maybe that was my problem. I was terrible. I didn't get very many opportunities. But you always get clowned. I mean, I picked off Dan Marino. It was a great play. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It was a good play.
Great play.
I'm bragging. Worst run back ever. And so, everybody just gave me a bunch of crap for it, and they still do.
I'm going to go watch that. And next time I see you, I'll try to give you some crap, too.
I guarantee you will. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, Nick.
No, I was going to say, the one, what was it, like 60, 65 yards that you had?
And the Vikings?
Yeah.
Was it? I think so. It was close. It was a long way.
I just remember you saying, I was tired.
And then they're like, hey, we got to go back, which I know that. But then I go up to Mike, and he's like, you good? Yes. Yes, somewhat. We better get a 3 and out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Yeah, underrated part of that. You don't think about that. You score. Oh, you got to go right back out.
You got to go right back.
But, part of it you're running out of fear because you know that if you get tracked down,
it's going to be even worse.
Teammates never going to let you hear the end of it.
100%. Enrique, my former teammate, he ran me down. Not even a defensive player. He was just showing off his speed that day.
Yeah,
so.
He had to show you up.
Show me up.
All right, Ernest, so before we let you go here, it was the big storyline leading into this week, and now we saw the debut episode of Hard Knocks. I'm sure everyone was excited. What did you think of how it played out, how you were portrayed, and how everyone came out in that first episode?
I'm be honest, my wife, we got to watch it together. That's going to be our movie date night. So I haven't watched it yet.
All right.
I didn't see a couple clips, the fights. It's going to be fun. I'll tell you, we got a great group of guys, and we're just being us. I mean, I love that we're being us. Coach Mike's allowing us to be us and just do it just authentically. And Hard Knocks doing a great job, man. We are truly enjoying it.
Yeah. Great stuff there. Well, Ernest, thank you very much. We appreciate the time. Great to hear from you. The 12s love hearing from you. We love to hear your insight, and thanks for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me.
I'm going to tell Ernest what happened, okay?
The
Dan Marino run back.
Well, we're going to show him. We are going to show him.
Yes.
You show him the clip.
Let's see it
right now during the
I'm going to cut it. I'm going to edit it.
Okay.
All right. Seahawks linebacker Ernest Jones here. Thanks for the time, as always. Great stuff from Ernest. We're going to come back. We're going to turn to some Mariners conversation. Wyman and Bob here on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
One of his most introspective interviews.
My dad left at 10. I saw my mom collect food stamps at 12.
Alex Rodriguez, exclusively with Brock and Salk.
What do you say to those that go, well, A-Rod, you told us that it wouldn't be about the money?
If you guys are up for free agency and you're 24 years old and one offers you X and the other one offers you $150 million more, where would you guys go? You have to do it.
Get all of this can't-miss conversation on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. Let people come first.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Dealing with divorce and custody issues can be terrifying and very lonely, but you don't need to face it alone. Goldberg Jones has been helping Northwest husbands and fathers for more than 30 years. Thousands of men have put their trust in us. You can too. Learn more at goldbergjones.com.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding gets underway at 10 a.m. Thursday, August 6th, and closes at 10 a.m. August 13th. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
When an emergency happens, be the first to know. Alert Seattle helps you stay safer and connected. This free service includes alerts about severe weather, safety, health, utility disruptions, major traffic accidents, and more. If you live or work in Seattle, Alert Seattle is the city's official emergency alert system. Sign up for text, email, or phone alerts during emergencies near your home, work, school, and more. Text Seattle to 67283. AlertSeattle.gov to learn more and sign up.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Day games happening in the baseball world today, including both the Astros and the Rangers. Rangers beat the Giants 6-0. They improved to 57 and 58 on the season. The Astros lose to the Blue Jays despite being up 3-0. They blow a 3-0 lead. They lose 5-4, so they slip to 59 and 57 on the year. Big one for the Mariners tonight. Brian Wu gets the ball, game 2 of the series against the Tigers. They're going with a bullpen day. A lot of relievers throwing for Detroit. 6:40 first pitch. Pregame coverage begins at 5:30 right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you. We literally can't handle the heat, Dave. We've moved inside. Now practice is over. Interview with Ernest Jones was fantastic as we expected, and now we move inside out of the smoke just because I told you. I said, I know you can handle it. Sweating through my shirt here. So we moved inside. You can call me soft if you want. I know you could have stayed outside the entire time. You did yesterday.
No, yeah, it's fine as long as the air is moving. That's all I need. I just need a fan. I hate when it's just stagnant. It could be 70 degrees in here, but if it's just there's no airflow, that's where I have a problem. How about
did you bring
EJ,
your fan
man?
with you?
I did.
Okay, good.
EJ is fantastic. He really is, and I don't think there's a guy that looks more intimidating that is a nicer guy. He's such a great member of this defense, and I'll always think back to that. As much as John Snyder has made so many great moves during the middle of the season, and help me out here, Quandre Diggs, Dwayne Brown, Leonard Williams. I mean, at that trade deadline, he's crushed it, and that's what happened there. What did they go straight up Baker for Ernest Jones because he was in Tennessee, had a brief stint there, played 6 or 7 games, something like that.
Maybe even that. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5, but it was very inconsequential.
Right. So and it was kind of weird because he came here and he played the Bills, and they had just played the Bills, so he played the Bills 2 weeks in a row, and then he gets this defense straight because they started off really good. The first 3 games they were giving up this is in Mike's first year in 2024. And they started off defensively only giving up 200 yards a game, which is phenomenal. But then after that, they just went into kind of a slump, and the defense just wasn't working right. So John Snyder not going to sit on his hands and had a guy to support him that this is the guy we need, Ernest Jones. He gets here, and the defense just takes off. So what an amazing story he is, and sounds like he's going to be a Seahawk for life. And it was great catching up with him because we didn't really. I think he was underappreciated. I really do. I think he was disrespected, as the players like to say, in the offseason. Him not being in the top 15 linebackers or 14 or whatever it was. It's ridiculous. He had 6 interceptions. And then just a ton of other plays and some knockdowns and everything. So, EJ he was a phenomenal player last year.
I also appreciate how all these players really want to see your interception.
No,
that should be a source
of
of pride.
Bringing it up. I don't know why you.
I was giving you credit. He was genuinely interested. I think it's some linebacker respect. I mean, he's never, for as good as Ernest Jones is, he's never going to intercept Dan Marino. He will never pick off a Dan Marino pass. And that is a legendary quarterback. I think I saw his eyes light up. I mean, I was a little further away when we brought it up to Uchenna yesterday, so I couldn't stare as intently. But it did look like Ernest Jones had that dawning of recognition, oh, okay, that's impressive. And he did seem like he really wanted to watch. So NASA has promised that he'll show him the clip. And as he helpfully said, don't worry, I have it saved. So.
He's going to come up and say, bro, you got to work on your run back. But yeah, I mean, I was going to kind of take him through. It was a good play because I pissed him off because the next time we got up under center, he looked over at me and his face was all red, Dan Marino. He's like, nice play. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't sound like much of a compliment. And then I said to him, I go, nice tackle. But, yeah, and I've seen Dan Marino a couple of times, super nice guy. Didn't bring it up, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I think that he's definitely going to be like, I was just a bad run back guy. I just was. I was terrible. I got one in the preseason one time, and it was an offensive guard that actually clicked my heel like he ran, but he had an angle, Mike. He was like 30 yards away, and he had the angle on me. So I got crap for that. And then, there was a couple of times where I just ran out of bounds and didn't even try to get any kind of a return. So I didn't want to fumble. That was what my problem was. I was being responsible.
Yeah, well, it was funny. I mean, that's a thought. Ernest Jones said the exact same thing. That's the only reason I thought of it. He said the exact same thing that you said. So I was like, all right, must be a linebacker thing. But no, I get it. You want to protect that football because turnovers are hard to come by.
Yeah,
so.
well, and especially interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really hard to come by. So, yeah, you want to make sure you secure. Just, my thought was always, let's just give it to the experts, the offense. Let me just hand them the ball and let them do it instead of me trying to score. How about that?
Well, Dave, I don't know how to transition to. Okay, let's talk about the Mariners, but we have put it off
can
for
we talk about
2
football?
hours. Sure, we could talk. We could talk about football longer, but we had the benefit of having a lot of football to talk about because we had the first episode of Hard Knocks, and we knew we were going to talk to Ernest Jones, and we got to watch practice. That's now wrapped up. We do have to discuss what happened last night and how deflating it was for the Mariners because this was kind of a big moment, almost an inflection point of what is this team going to be post-trade deadline. You have these new pieces. You have Brendan Donovan back. You're getting healthy. We kept talking leading into pregame about the lineup is pretty much set now. You have your guys. What is this going to look like? And then they come out and they turn in a performance with 4 hits, all singles. The offense really was disappointing, and then even more deflating was the fact that your bullpen acquisition, and Justin Hollander told you guys, he's not a high-leverage guy. Sir Anthony Dominguez they wanted to use him in mid-leverage. It kind of was. It was, 4-0 at that point when they brought him in. So a mid-leverage guy, but to see him really, really struggle. Essentially, he did not record, I would say he didn't record a productive out. Essentially went a third of an inning. The out he recorded brought in a run. So it technically wasn't even like a beneficial out. Right. So every batter he faced did something productive. Last just the third of an inning, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, walks 2. That's rough. It's rough all around for the Mariners. Now, I think maybe we hopefully chalk this up to everyone's kind of settling in, new place, the emotions of being traded and arriving to a new environment. But just in this one sample size of post-trade deadline game for the Mariners, this is probably as rough as it could get.
It really is bad. And, and I don't know. I mean, I didn't even hear people complaining about it that much. It's almost like they're getting used to it. But, yeah, I mean, when you see Cal Raleigh go 1 for 4, and then, you didn't get anything out of, I mean, you got 1 hit out of Julio, but like you said, all singles, just no power. It seems like that stat has been very elusive for them. Slug. I mean, it's just not getting extra base hits. And, we saw that was a problem for Julio Rodriguez, and that's kind of his calling card. So, yeah, he does damage, and it's just not happening. So I don't know if maybe people are like, okay, well, let's just give it another, game or 2 here and see what happens. Did you really expect Dominguez to go out there and just light them up? No, I didn't, but I certainly didn't expect a third of an inning with 4 earned runs, so that and a couple of walks, so that was and 2 home runs. I'll keep going if you want the bad stats here, but yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know, it was kind of laughable. I still think they have the guys on this in this lineup to do damage, but Brendan Donovan didn't do anything, struck out 1 time. Didn't get a hit. I mean, it was really bad in that regard. And I just think maybe Mariner fans are starting to get kind of numb to it.
Yeah, I think I'm less concerned right now about the offense still. Brendan Donovan, first game back from, a long stint on the IL. He hadn't played in a major league game since May 15th. So my expectations were, all right, maybe him being back in the lineup gives everyone else a boost. That didn't happen. That was disappointing. But for Donovan himself, I mean, he'd give it a game or 2. Tonight, sure, like to see him get on base, show signs of what he was doing when he was kind of that pest to other pitchers at the top of the lineup. But game one, after a few months away, I didn't expect much. Same with Taylor Ward, coming over here, getting traded, flying all the way across the country, getting plopped into the lineup. Baseball's tough. We know this. I mean, the Mariners stars are having trouble getting on base. So to put that much on Ward and Donovan, I never was going to hold too high of an expectation there. Yeah, we will moving forward. What was disappointing and now kind of concerning, I think, is the Dominguez performance, because this is the guy that's been pitching all year. And he hadn't been great for the White Sox, but he's got stuff. He has good stuff that plays. And maybe we just have to kind of reassess our expectations for him. It's not going to be a guy that comes in and gets you out of jams. It's simply helping out with the other arms you have. And it's kind of what Jordan Schusterman, who joins Bump and Stacy every week, was alluding to. He joined them today. He was breaking down kind of the ideal spot for Dominguez and where to pitch him.
He's clearly not someone that you should be depending on in the ninth or maybe even the eighth inning. But he still has real stuff. He still has an above-average strikeout rate. He's still throwing quite hard. And you have to imagine that this coaching staff should be able to get him to be at least a reliable sixth or seventh inning guy. I mean, this is still an arm that is major league quality that I think does improve the depth and in some ways the upside of this bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in too much of a twist over the Dominguez thing. I mean, you get traded, you're probably a little bit flustered, and I think we've seen the worst performance that he's going to have this year. So yeah, that one is not really overly concerning. I don't worry about pitching in general. It's always about the offense, and and Taylor Ward. I mean, we didn't expect him to come in and start slugging home runs necessarily, but he didn't get a hit, and so yeah. I mean, to me, I think it's almost foolish complaining about pitching at this point with this team.
Well, I'd separate the bullpen from the starters. I mean, the bullpen has really struggled. I think the hope was that, you see a new guy coming in, that he's the immediate fix. And so for him to kind of almost echo the same problems that have been plaguing guys like Ferrer and Bizzardo, that's a little concerning. But maybe you just added on to all right, now you have all these arms, you have more options, and then what Hollander told you guys, just simply having an additional arm because they don't have six starters, that perhaps gives Dan Wilson more maneuverability, that you need a guy for this certain situation. Okay, you can put him in. You need a guy to cover a few innings. We saw Josh Simpson in there. He did fine. So you have more options right now, but it was just this rude awakening of okay, our first experience with Dominguez is just this, where he could not get a guy out. So a little bit frustrating moving forward. But ultimately, Dave, I think we keep talking about it. For the Mariners, it's going to be the offense. And it was that lack of offense again. At what point do you think they have to find it? It's a team that they have not been able to get these big bats going. Julio, Cal, and Josh Naylor, I guess, even though you don't really put too much on him when it comes to the power that he can provide, because I think he's kind of gotten mislabeled as a power guy. In the past, he really hasn't been that. But it goes along with it. He's one of your high-priced bats. So for the Mariners, is there a point where you think, look, this is just who they are, or do you have confidence that someone like Cal and Julio can figure it out, almost like we asked Matt Snyder, what to expect from these guys moving forward the rest of the season?
Yeah, well, I mean, I will continue. I haven't given up yet, and I'm kind of like, the say. I like that slogan. I'm going down with the ship. Yeah. I am. I really. That's how I feel. Yeah. Like, look, if we get to like September and it hasn't happened, okay, maybe I'll make that declaration then. But I mean, it just. I still believe in this team, but it's starting to get to the point. And, the rest of the AL West is really cooperating. So, yeah, it's just, to me, it's a matter of time, but I don't know. I might be saying this the second to the last day of the football or the baseball season.
We will go down the ship. It's a good motto there. This is an interesting perspective this morning. So Jason Benetti, who is the play-by-play man for the Tigers, also does kind of the national broadcast for NBC. So he's done the Mariners games a couple of times this year. Certainly well versed in them because as the Tigers broadcaster, he saw him last year a handful of times and earlier this season as well. And he was on with Brock and Salk this morning, and he said, "Look, it's pretty clear. The problem for the Mariners offense boils down to one thing."
It's the slugging, though. I can talk about the defense and all that stuff, but like Josh Naylor has 22 steals and Randy Arozarena has 20 steals, and they're running some and they're doing all these. You have to hit homers to win. I mean, I'm sorry to be trite and basic, but in Major League Baseball, you win 66% of the time or whatever the number is right now, but it's usually around there when you out-homer the opponent. Homers fix everything.
Yeah, it's funny. I just said that about the slug part of it. I mean, that's the one stat that, and we talked about if you average the slash line, which is, average on base percentage slug and OPS, it's like number 28, number 29, and slug I think is number 30. So yeah, it's totally agree with him, and that's just not happening.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Tigers last night. That's exactly what they did. They had, 5 extra base hits, 3 of them home runs, 2 doubles. The Mariners, no extra base hits, and that's becoming a little bit of a concerning trend for the M's. They have a handful of games now with no extra base hits. I think, the difference is you can mitigate that if that's not who you are. If you are a small ball team at your core, because everyone says, all right, well, you need small ball, the old classic, get them on, get them over, get them in. The Mariners did not construct their lineup that way. Had you built your team like the Guardians, we see a team like that, or even the Brewers, they've built their team like that. It could work for some teams. It hasn't worked for the Guardians in the postseason. They have not gone far. The Brewers have had great, successful regular seasons. They haven't done much in the postseason as well. The Mariners have said, look, we are going to build our team around power. That's what they've done over the past few years. You have power when you have 60 home runs from Cal Raleigh. That does a lot for your offense. You have power when you have someone like Julio putting up a 30-30 season or close to that. And then, they've had Gino Suarez, who they brought over. And Suarez the past couple of years in a full season core. And this year, you just don't have that. I mean, your home run guys this year, you look at your leading home run guys, Dom Canzone. You could not have gone into the season and said, look, if Dom Canzone leads our team in home runs, we're in good shape. That would be if Dom Canzone gets a handful of home runs, we assume that Julio and Cal have done something and our offense is in great shape. Or Cole Young, who we didn't know we were going to get a lot of last year, he's up there as well. So the fact that you have Canzone and Cole Young among your leading home run hitters, it comes back to it, right? Your players, your core, have to be the guys that step up. And I think it was even more so obvious when Justin Hollander came on with you guys and said, yeah, we believe in this team, but we haven't shown anything close to that. And unfortunately, last night, there are really no signs to say, yeah, we're going to get it going moving forward. But I don't know. Like you said, we'll keep going down with the ship because I do believe that there's just something that hasn't been unlocked yet. It's the most baffling question when it comes to the Mariners because you read all these post-trade deadline predictions and what do these teams need to do. Everyone says, well, the Mariners have been confounding or disappointing or pick your favorite adjective to describe them. But no one can seem to figure out what's going on with this team when it comes to the lack of offense.
No, you're right. I mean, and, looking at the stat leaders, I mean, Randy Arozarena is leading in average, but, why does Cole Young have the most hits and the most RBI? And why is Dominic Canzone your leading home run hitter? And for a while there, by the way, it was Luke Raley, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it should be Julio. It should be Cal. Like you said, Naylor, I mean, it's not like he – is smashing home, 50 home runs or anything like that. But, it just the wrong guys are on the leaderboard.
Well, we did have a interesting addition to Cade Anderson. I think we'll get into it real quick here. That Jerry DiPoto added on to something that Justin Hollander had already told you guys, that they do have a plan for Cade Anderson. They want to bring him up. Jerry DiPoto spoke with the media yesterday before the game, and he was talking about Cade Anderson, and he did say there's absolutely one thing they will not do with Anderson.
We're not going to put Cade in the bullpen. He's the best starting pitcher in the minor leagues. I think he leads the minor leagues in everything, not the Texas League, but the minor leagues. And, he is trending in every way you can. There's extra velocity. The precision has come so far, even since the day he signed. He's doing everything we could possibly expect or ask of. We want to build his innings. I think he's at 82 today. And for us to put him in a bullpen right now would be irresponsible for, his future development.
I like that. I heard that this morning, when I was driving in, and kind of interesting because, we did talk a little bit about that, like what's the entry point? How are we gonna do that? As far as getting him involved, and for Jerry to come out and say it would be irresponsible, that's a pretty good way to put it. Like, he just shut that down. That idea is not a possibility.
Now I'm more curious though. But it was interesting to hear that definitive statement, and it makes sense. You don't want to disrupt this progress, and someone that you have that is still blossoming into potentially one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. That's what you hope because of what he's done in the minors. So, all right, he's not going to pitch in the bullpen. Now where's he going to pitch? Because it doesn't sound like they're going to go back to a six-man rotation. You're not going to do that at this point. They just finally erased that issue. You want your guys to throw as frequently as possible down the stretch. They've talked about that. They want that routine. I guess we throw out our ideas again, right? Throw out your creative idea for how to get Cade Anderson into this rotation.
Well, I mean, look, it's the only option from what he said there is that it's because somebody got hurt, right? I mean, that's the only. You're not going to put him in the bullpen.
But I think he's going to come up, even if someone doesn't get hurt.
Maybe you can stretch somebody else out or give them maybe an extra day's rest or whatever. But for him to say it would be irresponsible, that pretty much shuts down that idea.
Yeah, it's also irresponsible, and I assume they agree because they've talked about it. Is that you're not going to just keep him down at Double-A. At this point, we're far beyond that. So he is coming up at some point. And I just go back to the thing that Shannon mentioned in passing to Bump and Stacy in the dugout, or maybe it wasn't in passing. I heard it in passing, Dave. When she mentioned it on the dugout with Bump and Stacy, of maybe this is where you do the piggyback because that's the true intended purpose. Ryan Rowland-Smith has talked about that. That's something you do in the minors when you're trying to limit innings or conserve guys and things like that. And the Mariners are using it with a crop of MLB-ready rotation guys who have been pitching and have been used to throwing normal 6 to 7 innings or even further. But perhaps Cade Anderson is the perfect guy to do this with because you're still building up his innings and because you're getting him acclimated. If he does run into trouble, you're not on the hook for an overwhelming amount of coverage from your bullpen. I don't know. We've thrown out some crazy ideas. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what develops with Cade Anderson. But that will be a looming question for the Mariners, along with the offense and what comes of that. All right, Dave, I do want to get back to the Seahawks. I said we had to get some Mariners in, but we will get back to the Seahawks. And one moment that stood out from Hard Knocks yesterday and what it says about Mike Macdonald's leadership. We'll dive into that up next. Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Jeff Passan, every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
The Mariners, 2 moves at the deadline. How did they do?
I actually think they did really well. The Luis Castillo trade killed 2 birds with 1 stone, but got them a prospect back. Like, Boston Smith can play. Then going and getting Taylor Ward, we had talked about him and identified him as the perfect guy for the Mariners to go out and get. A right-handed hitting outfielder.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
August is always a time of excitement because football is back. But anyone that watches practice or preseason games knows how much work needs to be done before the season starts. And if you're feeling that same way about your home project, Harley Exteriors wants to help you get a head start on making sure your home is ready for fall football nights. $500 off each window, $750 off patio and entry doors, and $200 off the final projects. If you spend a few minutes with the folks at Harley Exteriors during your free estimate, and you'll realize that you have a lot in common. They love our local teams, they're good at what they do, and they'll take care of your home. So use Harley Exteriors to complete your home project this month and receive 12 or 18-month promotional financing. You can get a hold of them by calling 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval and lender terms. Minimum purchase of 4 qualifying windows required. Windows must be 36 by 36 inches or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to approved credit. Offers cannot be combined with other promotions. Offer expires August 31st, 2026.
Hey, you mind keeping it down up there, please?
KeyBank will meet you in that I need new neighbors moment.
Rick, it's your mortgage loan officer, Beth. I was in the neighborhood and wanted to let you know your home loan application's been approved.
Beth, you're always there for me, and not a moment too soon.
Are your neighbors bowling with grand pianos again?
And apparently raising livestock?
Ew.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 399797.
When you order a ride from a rideshare company, do you know what you're getting? Big rideshare companies have been caught failing to protect passengers from dangerous drivers and not supporting drivers and passengers after an accident, all to protect their profits. That's why if you've been injured in a rideshare vehicle, you need Davis Law Group to protect you. Their in-house team of investigators and legal staff has a successful track record of taking on rideshare companies, and they've won millions. Visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier.
The LJ Way.
Do you need a new roof? Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and secure $500 off your project this summer. Our technicians build a custom plan to ensure a high-quality roof installation every time. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Here in the Pacific Northwest, windows can be one of the best investments you can make to add value to your home. At Dunn Lumber, we have designated Marvin window specialists who have been trained by Marvin to best serve your needs. If you need help finding the right windows for your home, come by one of our 4 Dunn Lumber window showrooms or reach out to me personally, Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Dunn Lumber, building success together.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Paddle your way to a salmon run surprise of $100,000 in cash. Win your share with hourly drawings from 6 p.m. till midnight every Saturday in August. It's a King's Cash cascade of prizes that just keeps on growing, cresting at a $15,000 finale on August 29th. Dive into all the freshwater fun with one free daily entry. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 35 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
A lot of gold from that Seahawks episode of Hard Knocks, episode 1 of 5. It'll be every Tuesday. I think it's interesting once you get into the preseason, the actual games. You see that footage. We'll hear some Dave Wyman in the booth. Some Rabel and Wyman calls. You looking forward to that?
Do they do that?
Oh, yeah. They show the highlights, the touchdowns. They put the radio call on it.
Yeah.
You're going to be all over the later episodes of Hard Knocks, Dave.
I seriously doubt it. They'll probably cut those out. I'll get edited.
Rabel will make the call. They'll stop before your call.
That's exactly.
I'm sorry. Well, at some point, maybe we'll get on the show. Were you looking... I think a few of us were looking to see if our Seattle sports tent would make it on, or if something from our station would make it on to Hard Knocks. didn't really get much signage on there.
No.
They stuck to the field.
Did you? I wasn't even really looking for us, but somebody told me from the station that, yeah, I saw you, and then she said something about how, well, and I saw all the episodes, and I'm like, first of all, there's only one episode.
What are you watching?
Second of all, yeah, I think he was watching something else. And second of all, I'm pretty sure I wasn't anywhere.
No, you weren't anywhere. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't, but that's fine.
I want to know which show this person's watching then.
Yeah, I know. Maybe she was looking at years past or something. Anyway, but yeah, that I thought it was cool. It was kind of a little bit bizarre. Like, what's with the goat in the beginning?
It was like a little social media stunt they had for JSN.
Yeah, because of and then Brady Russell gets peed on.
That was very funny. that was a very funny part of that. There was. Really, I think the most serious part of it did involve Brady Russell, though, and it was Mike Macdonald, kind of in the aftermath of the fight and the skirmish. According to Brady Henderson, that was actually the second fight. The more intense one was the second fight that day. He said they showed them out of order. But either way, that was a pretty intense fight there. It was Brady Russell and Derek Hall, and everyone kind of got into it. And Mike Macdonald is out there. And this was Mike Macdonald first talking to Add and Dirty and then going over to talk to Brady Russell about that fight.
I'm disappointed in D Hall. Like, why would you come in and go behind the guys?
I'm just telling you, the thing Brady said to him, bro, like,
what did he say?
He said you changed because your money. D Hall hasn't changed, and like that, when you like get into talking, I'm good with that, but
yeah, that's kind of
those personal things, like they're the things that chip away at.
I didn't know he said that. When did he say that?
He said it on the sideline. I was heard him. I'm kind of trying to just keep it calm.
Yeah. Hey Brady. I'm good with us like trash talking, but like I think you kind of crossed the line. Like,
is there?
I know your emotions are high, but like it's kind of a chotch thing to tell people.
What you got, Mac? Yes, sir.
You agree?
Yeah.
As your teammate, like, you should be happy for him. Now, if he does a cheap shot, like tell him he's out of line for a cheap shot.
I guess that's kind of what I felt like I was doing. Because of his slam on Cable Do. But
that's fair, But like,
I agree.
All right.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about that is that Mike is focusing much more on the words than the violence. That is how you tear a relationship down, is through words, and saying that he changed because of the money. And actually, I thought he kind of took a discount.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think Derek Hall could have got more on the open market if he waited for that to happen. But, I thought that was – he calls things chotch.
I was going to say, he loves that word.
Yeah. I don't – it's kind of like hokey or maybe stupid or I don't know what exactly.
It means kind of being a type of person you don't want to be. If you look up the definition, there's kind of an informal use that's been associated to it, but he does love that word. We've heard it a few times from him. But it's not the kind of person you want to be. I think he was referring to it in that situation.
Right. Yeah. And, it just kind of, it gets a little bit personal. And so, and your words can be much more harmful than any kind of punch, especially when you're wearing a big plastic helmet. Right. So, yeah, I like that, that Mike recognized that right away. And that's something that, that they don't want there. And I'm sure that there are some guys that don't care for each other. We saw a couple of flame-ups on the sidelines, right, between Nicky Manwari. We saw it with Derek Hall and Jaron Reed, actually, the year before that. So you're always going to have that. You're going to have those kinds of guys. And Derek Hall seems to be one of those guys that's pretty intense. And he's intensely defensive of his short shorts.
Yeah.
But I think those things, he's probably a guy that maybe is the most fiery, and I would say that in a good way, because we had a discussion with him earlier in the year, and he just was fantastic for 20 minutes straight. Just a great Seahawk, and I honestly do think that he took a pretty big discount just to stay here, just to be part of this. So yeah, it'll be interesting to. I would be interested. I'm sure we're not going to be able to see that, but what how Mike talks to of course Brady Russell, we heard that, and Derek Hall, and maybe just tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, what do you think about how he handled all that, though? I mean, kind of talking to Dirty first to get the sides of it, and then that's a conversation where you can tell he's annoyed but to stay level-headed and to have that kind of respectful conversation with Brady Russell. You're coaching and you're teaching in that moment, but I'm sure it's different than a lot of coaches you might have had where if you're mad at a guy, are you going to have a conversation like that? I mean, probably back in the old day, right? Guys are just screaming at you. Did you have coaches that would, if you had screwed up, would you have had a coach that spoke to you like Macdonald did there, trying to hear your side, but also imparting his wisdom in a calm way? Or is it just, Wyman, don't do that again?
Not a chance. Yeah. I mean, there's no way we're having that kind of conversation. So yeah, it was very, the second I heard him, want to know about what was said, those are the most harmful things. So, and that's what can chip away at a really good team. And this is a great team as far as that part goes. So yeah, that was very cool to hear that. And it kind of sounded almost like, somebody solving a problem on the playground, going out and watch your words, but I mean, it's very real because those are the things that, that's where you can do the most damage.
Yeah, it's so impressive with what Mike Macdonald has done in only 2 seasons and now here going into his 3rd. But it's a little piece like that you normally would not ever get insight into because where anyone else is in practice, you're not on the field. We're nowhere close. And we have a better view than fans. I mean, we're in front of the barriers. We're nowhere close to getting that kind of access. So I think that's where Hard Knocks is a great thing for us who cover and talk about and are around the Seahawks team every day, just to see another side that even being here every single day, we would have never known about. But now you get a little picture into what makes Mike Macdonald so well respected that he can kind of command every different side of this. And with a whole group of players, various backgrounds and motivations and desires, and to come in there and to handle that situation, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I get why people just respect him. They appreciate what he does and how they kind of build and fall behind him in a sport where you have a lot of big egos, and rightfully so, because you're at the height of a very masculine profession where you're hitting people. You have to be very ego-filled and believe you're the best because you have to be an extremely talented athlete to get to this level. It'd be tough to win over a locker room like that, but Macdonald with things like that, it was so thoroughly impressive to me. That might have been the most impressive part of the entire episode. We talked about the funny moments. There were some moments of hilarity, but to me that kind of insight and that pulling Brady Russell aside was probably the most impressive part of the whole episode to me with Mike Macdonald. So we have plenty to talk about with the Seahawks, but we also want to kind of go around the NFL a little bit. The Rams, they're getting all this love. There's also a chance that it might be warranted, and it's because it's growing increasingly likely that one guy comes back for the Rams. We'll get some more insight on that when we sweep the dial. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The champs are back.
So great. Weather's awesome. Guys are in good spirits.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, has your sideline pass every day with Bump and Stacy live from the VMAC from 10 to 2.
We're going to be able to take in practice all week long.
Then Wyman and Bob from 2 o'clock all the way up to Mariners pregame at 6.
Byron Murphy is with us. How are you, man? Put in the work every day,
The very latest news, insight, and exclusive analysis at seattlesports.com.
Hey, Mariners fans, the Law Tigers are teaming up with your Seattle Mariners and Destination Harley-Davidson to give one lucky fan a custom 2026 Street Bob to celebrate 50 seasons. Now, the bike was painted by the legendary VC Designs. You can enter now at mariners.com. The bike will be given away live at the game on September 22nd, so go to marinersbike.com to enter today. Again, that's marinersbike.com to win. And the Law Tigers were born from a passion for the open road. It's Bob Stelton here, and I've been riding for quite a while now, and it's nice to know these guys are in my corner if I need them. Law Tigers was built by riders for riders, protecting what matters most: your freedom, your family, and the ride. They're available 24/7, 365, and your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. So if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. With Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Cook Law Office, PLLC, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same: we got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Need a lift? In your business, equipment downtime is not an option. With parts in stock and factory-trained mobile technicians, Levitt Machinery is here to get your business back up and running. From forklifts to telehandlers, aerial lifts to track loaders, trust Levitt Machinery to lift you back up and get your equipment back to work. Because at Levitt Machinery, if it's forked, we fix it. LevittMachinery.com. Give us a call today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000. Use code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
The champs are back.
Really excited to get going.
Nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of your Super Bowl champions, Seattle Sports.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
Here it comes. Possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding gets underway at 10 a.m. Thursday, August 6th, and closes at 10 a.m. August 13th. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Well, after his start last night, Emerson Hancock admitted it was kind of a strange experience for him to go through a trade deadline with his name being floated around.
Yeah, I think that, just for me, like the first time going to the deadline, it's a crazy period for everybody, though, for everybody around the league and baseball, because you just aren't quite sure what's going to happen and how things are going to shake up. So I think if you look around, like there's a lot of teams that have a lot of new guys and a lot of new faces, and so I think it's just about, as this we can move past like farther from it, it's like this is our group, and then we just kind of keep pushing from there.
I'm telling you, man, if I'm Jerry Dipoto or Justin, I'm going, you wouldn't believe the players that they wanted to do. Shohei Ohtani, okay,
gassing him up,
totally gas him up. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear like what level of return, what was, because most general managers in any sport, I think it's become that thing that you say, hey, John Snyder will listen to anything. Don't they all? I feel like nowadays they'll listen to something. Anything that is going to help their team, obviously, and if it's something outrageous, you just like, no, we're not even in the same ballpark. But that's something that I think a lot of GMs say, but it kind of goes without saying. But I think it would be kind of funny to, obviously you don't want to lie to him, but I mean, you get a chance to really score some points with him. If you were like, yeah, you should have seen who we turned down, man. Yeah. We love you.
Yeah, maybe it does give him that confidence boost, because you are going to need Emerson Hancock now. There's no way around it. He is one of those 5 guys, and he's had some up and down outings the last couple of times out there, whether it's, getting close to surpassing his innings, his innings high. By the time he gets to the end of the season, he'll have shattered his combined major league and minor league high for innings pitched. So who knows what effect that might have on him. But regardless of whether teams are starting to figure out how he likes to pitch, or if he's getting a little bit of arm fatigue, Dave, that he's going to be an important part of this rotation moving forward. Yeah, could be just a simple little ego boost from Dipoto. Like, these guys really wanted you. They offered a good package, but we just couldn't part with you. We want you here. You're a big part of our rotation.
Sweeping the dial.
Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer was just out at Rams training camp, and he was talking to a couple guys in the front office, and I assume Sean McVay as well. Then he joined Dan Patrick, and he was talking about the likelihood of Aaron Donald not just coming back, but coming back before the season begins.
I think he's coming back, and I think he will play the full season. Dan, I would say it's unlikely that it happens before they leave Loyola Marymount, where they're having their training camp. Now, I believe they leave there on Friday. And I think after that, everything's in play when they get back to their home facility.
Yeah, so his last year in the league was 2023. Mm-hmm. So missing a couple of years. It's funny, I've been asked this question a lot by just, fans and people like, do you think Aaron Donald can come? And I'm like, I really don't know. I mean, it has to do a lot with the individual and the person, and just seeing the way that he worked out. Remember, didn't they do Hard Knocks there, and he was a part of it, and you saw like the workouts that he was doing and how ridiculous they were. And he's always in shape. But yeah, I mean, the way he's going to feel after like that first practice or first scrimmage or whatever, or first game is, I don't envy him. He's going to be very, very sore. Like I said, it's always different when you're either, contact. I mean, that kills your neck. I mean, your neck muscles are just like, shock absorbers, and, they get fired. So that's going to be interesting to see how he handles that part of it. But as far as that goes, I mean, once Phillip Rivers came back after how many years? I mean, and how old was he?
Like in his 40s.
40
as a quarterback
or something. I mean, I was like, yeah, I mean, he didn't look great, but he got it done. So, but yeah, I just don't know about a defensive tackle. That'd be arguably like the most contact of any position, right? If you're on the interior part of the defensive line, you're going to get hit on every single play. So yeah, I'm very curious about it. I don't think that's what puts him over the top, though.
No. Even though just knowing the previous version of Aaron Donald, I mean, you don't think he's too long away to regain that form?
I don't think he's going to come back and be a Pro Bowler like he was every year of his career. So, that one doesn't really worry me. I'm more worried about like Matthew Stafford and, Nakua and all the other stars that they have there, and not really. I mean, Aaron Donald doesn't really move the needle for me.
Sweeping the dial.
So the Buffalo Bills had already experienced a lifetime's worth of playoff heartbreak before Josh Allen came around. now they've experienced another lifetime's worth of playoff heartbreak, and I think it's never a good sign. We kind of have to qualify, hey, your latest heartbreak. So that's what Josh Allen was asked about, how that heartbreak last year, the way that the game ended against the Broncos and what a lot of people thought was kind of a controversial call, how that experience and another empty trip to the playoffs, he was asked about how that shapes this season.
Definitely, we've watched it, we've put it in the past, we've learned from it, and we've been in the playoffs a lot of times in the last, however many years I've been here now, and, just continuing to find ways to learn from it. And I think that's, it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes because we haven't gotten it done, but you knock enough at the door, it's going to open at some point, and that's just what we have to keep doing is keep knocking on that door and giving ourselves chances to be in that situation again.
I feel like Josh Allen probably has, league-wide the most fans. He's a really easy guy to watch and an easy guy to like, and you feel like, he's not had a lot of he's had a lot of heartbreak, basically, as you wrote here.
You think it's that lovable loser mentality that you sympathize that, hey, you have this absolute gut-wrenching, never want to experience it again, lost to the Chiefs, so you're 13 seconds away, and then you go back and you have a winnable game against the Chiefs the next year and you lose in Kansas City because of a weird fourth down call, and then last year where they had the Broncos beat and Josh Allen just turns it over on every drive. It's just, I think that probably builds to it, right? Like, if you're not winning when it matters, who can really hate you? Yeah. Maybe his own fans. I don't know. I'm sure there are Bills fans that are frustrated, self-loathing now. But yeah, I guess, hey, you're a guy that is so good. People love him for what he does in fantasy football, and yeah, he seems like a very likable guy as well, down to earth.
Well, and you know who loves him is the owner.
Yeah.
Remember in that press conference that he was talking about Josh? And honestly, I think Josh Allen crying at his locker is what, where those changes got made. And it was like, remember you saw the owner at the press conference, and he basically was like, he was rambling quite a bit, but he was also, professed his love for Josh Allen. That's a good thing, though, right? If the owner loves you,
yeah,
that's a good position.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's still there. The head coach is not. Sean McDermott, you're right, was let go after that. So Josh Allen in a good spot, but the Bills have endured a lifetime of playoff heartbreak already. All right, well, I put this label on him every week, but it's up to Jon Morosi to make us feel better about the Mariners. He's going to join us next here. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
You hear about it first on Seattle Sports.
A-Rod, what are you doing this weekend?
I got a call from Mr. John Stanton. He invited me to the very special weekend to be part of the top 50, so I'm very excited.
Was this important to you?
I've been getting booed there for 27 years, so I kind of had lost hope this story would come full circle, and I'm over the moon, and thank God for the opportunity.
Watch in its entirety on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. With People Come First.
At Dunn, relationships are everything. It's why we build a culture around building the best relationships possible, building joy and trust, one interaction at a time. So whether you need trusted advice, help with material selection, project planning, or loading your vehicle, we go the extra mile to remove as much of the hassle as we can. If there's anything we can do to serve you better, contact me personally, Mike Dunn at dunlumber.com.
Dunn Lumber,
building success together.
Hey, Mike Salk here for Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, and not all getaways are going to earn 4 diamonds, but you can experience the 4 Diamond Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where the breathtaking views, elevated dining, and world-class gaming and entertainment make the perfect escape. Also, check out upcoming shows. You got 80s pop sensation Taylor Dane on September 6th, or local rock legends Queensryche on October 10th. Tickets at snocasino.com. You can elevate your next getaway. That's 4 Diamond and Seattle's closest Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Brian Wu gets the ball for the Mariners in Game 2 of the series. It's coming up with pregame coverage at the bottom of the hour, 5:30 pregame, 6:40 first pitch. Very similar looking lineup for the Mariners tonight. Cole Young bats leadoff. He's the second baseman. And you have the new bats, one coming back from injury, one the new arrival. Brendan Donovan and Taylor Ward batting and playing in the exact same spots as last night. Donovan is batting 7th. He's the third baseman. And Ward is batting 8th. He's the designated hitter tonight. Meanwhile, the Hall of Fame game tomorrow. Yes, NFL action is back. Carson Beck gets the start. Number 3 overall pick Jeremiah Love won't play in the game for the Cardinals.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
I've never heard a person walk out of the stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more weighting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José Berríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico en el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Jon Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
Not only are we being serious, Dave, we put upon this every week on this man the task of making us feel better about the Mariners.
Tremendous responsibility.
Tremendous responsibility. So Jon Morosi joins us now. JP, I'm sorry, we have given you that task again to make us feel better about the Mariners.
I'm up to the challenge. Can I tell you this?
Yeah.
Cole Young is really good. How about that? Let's start there.
Okay.
Cole Young
All
is having an outstanding season. You've got one of the best young second basemen in the world. He's even been better since the All-Star break. So let's just start there. Cole Young is outstanding.
Okay, perfect. See?
Okay, but Cole Young shouldn't be your leader in hits and RBI. Is that right?
He's up
on
there.
your team, yeah. So, but yeah, no, he's been really fantastic. I just think there's so much excitement, even though Colt Emerson maybe not, lighting the world on fire right now, but him too. And did we tell him about CO too? How we?
No, you want to tell John?
I solicited the texters like, what's a good nickname for those two middle infielders? And they came up with CO2. What do you think of that?
It's a good one.
Colt Emerson and Cole Young. Yeah.
And yes, to answer the question that you just advanced, Cole Young is indeed leading the Mariners with 51 RBI. He is the only Mariner with more than 50. You got a crowd of guys in the upper 40s. I do think this speaks to one of the problems they've run into, which is you look at what Cal did a year ago and even what Julio can do when he's having a really good Julio-type season. They just have not had, and I'll borrow one of the favorite terms of Dan O'Dowd, one of my colleagues at MLB Network who used to be the GM of the Rockies. Dan O'Dowd likes to call them aircraft carriers. The Mariners just do not have an aircraft carrier right now, and they better find one over the next couple months.
Yeah, so JP, for this team that is built to slug and hit home runs like a Cal Raleigh or a Julio, and they aren't hitting home runs, I mean, are there any ways to fix it now? The trade deadline has come and gone. This is their team. What could change for the Mariners offense before this season comes to an end?
It's an interesting question, Mike, because Jerry Dipoto in his comments after the trade deadline really touched on this point, which was it was a hard roster to upgrade, even though they're under 500, because a lot of the guys that are on the roster are going to be on the roster. They are under contract for a while, and as much as you'd love to trade half the team every day in your own mind if you're the GM sometimes, you can't do that. And the hope is that Ward lengthens the lineup and that Donovan gives them something approximating what they expected to get from him. Now, obviously, he's been out for so long. He 0 for 4 yesterday, so we're not early signs. And again, even the production during the minor league rehab stages wasn't necessarily robust. So he's playing with a groin that's given him trouble since May. And the hope is that he's ready to go right now. Time will tell. It's going to have to come from either a jolt with one of these guys that has just come back in, either, again, Ward or Donovan, or Naylor or Julio or Cal has to really get going. Now, of course, I think it was against the Twins when Cal had just a really good swing, roped it down the right field line. Like that's the kind of swing they need to see more from him, obviously. And there have been moments in the year where we've said, okay, maybe this is the hit that's going to get him locked in. Maybe this is where he's going to turn the corner. And it just hasn't happened over a sustained period of time. You look at almost any increment you want to look at over the last couple weeks, since the All-Star break, or since the start of June, since the start of July. It's just not, there's no interval of time that makes you feel like that turnaround is imminently going to happen. I think he's been trying to play catch-up all season long. Will he find it later on? We'll see. It's interesting. I think this was quoted, Dave Roberts recently talking about Mookie Betts, who is also having an uncharacteristic season, that, listen, forget about the numbers. The numbers right now, they are what they're going to be. You might be able to improve it a little bit here and there, but you're not going to have numbers, in Cal's case, that are even close to what he had last year. So you have to almost put that in a little box, set it aside, and just focus on the at-bat in front of you. And I believe that's still in him. We see flashes of it. The consistency, though, to your point, has to be there, and it hasn't been at this moment in time. And I think that the other key thing that has to happen later on is the situational hitting needs to get better in terms of executing runners in scoring position, because to your point, this is not an especially high average team. no one is having that great of an offensive year. And so as a result, you have to do the little things to bank some runs. And even if you're probably not going to have anybody driving 100, let alone maybe not even 90, you need to find someone to at least get into the range of 75 or 80 RBI to just be the person that is helping to cash in the opportunities. That, I believe, if the Mariners miss the playoffs, that is going to be one of the biggest reasons why.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one for me, JP, where I'm like, I feel like every at-bat is like its own entity. So what could possibly be the mentality when runners are in scoring position? And what are some of the like successful things that coaches can do in that situation? I mean, I feel like if you try too hard or you're hyper aware of it and it's a problem, maybe that gets in your head a little bit. I mean, maybe I'm asking you an impossible question, but like what kind of techniques, what kind of characteristics do teams that hit well, what do they have that hit well and with runners in scoring position?
The short answer is that they would take a different approach, whether it's a two-strike approach once you get to two strikes or a runners in scoring position approach. I remember Victor Martinez. I watched him for a long time in Detroit. He had that. His at-bats looked different when he was in that situation. Freddie Freeman now does it. This is not something that is a relic of the past. If you have a good runners in scoring position approach, the Blue Jays last year got to the World Series, I think in large part because of that. Vladdy would do that at times. George Springer would do that at times. Even Bo Bichette at his peak. I think there are some reasons why the Jays ultimately were able to get to where they got last year. And just for point of fact, the Mariners do have the worst batting average in the American League with men in scoring position, 219, 219. Wow. It's really hard to win games. If you're not going to slug, and they're an average home run hitting team right now, exactly average, 15th. So they're an average home run hitting team, and they're the worst team in the American League in terms of just getting a base hit with men in scoring position, the worst. And so that tells the tale right there. And that to me, again, this is not a revelation here. Edgar Martinez is on this staff, okay? There's nothing that I can say that coming from Edgar Martinez that they won't pick up on, okay? Like it's known you've got literally the best guy, maybe in the last 30 years of baseball, 40 years of baseball, to have this conversation with especially as a right-hand hitter, how do you serve that ball to right field, get in the run? He's the best. And so it's not for lack of the information. It's not for lack of trying. But I do think, however the Mariners have arrived at this point, they don't have and Donovan at his best can do this. Ward has some strikeout in his game, although it's a little bit less this year than it's been in the past. The thought I had was, and it wouldn't have been an ideal fit because I'm not really sure where he would have played or how it would have worked out, and maybe it would have been a different decision if they knew that Rayleigh was going to be hurt, obviously. But Luis Arraez was the kind of guy that would at least give you a different at-bat. Now, where would he play? That's a great question. I have no idea, especially if you've got Canzone as your DH at least a part of the time. So there's not really a natural fit. You've already got a first baseman. You've already got a second baseman. But that's the kind of player the Mariners need right now. They need the sought-after skill that very few teams have is the guy in the middle of the lineup or the top of the lineup that moves the ball. The classic number two hitter like we used to see in the game a lot. Placido Polanco is a name that did this very well for the Phillies and the Cardinals and the Tigers and other teams. That type of a player, Marco Scudero, helped the Giants win a World Series. I'm mentioning guys from like 15 years ago deliberately because there are not many guys in the game right now who do it. Arraez does, and he was a very highly coveted player as a result. It's just unfortunate for the Mariners that the position that Arraez plays was not conducive to the Mariners acquiring him. And even the team that got Arraez, the Phillies, had to move three guys to make it work, including Harper back to the outfield. So that just gives you a sense of how that tells you that literally the Phillies moved the sun and the moon and the stars to make it possible for Arraez to play on their team. Other ball clubs, I'm sure, would have loved to have the same player.
All right, JP, well, with where we are, the Mariners trying to chase down the Astros now, and the Rangers are still right in front also. 3 teams, all kind of in a muddled mix here. Who do you think wins the AL West?
So my honest answer, you've asked me the honest question. I've got to give you the honest answer.
Bob's not here. You can say the team.
Sorry, yeah. So with apologies to Bob, the answer is Houston. Because they have now figured some things out. They didn't have a very impactful deadline. They did address it with Varsho, which I think helps. They did not upgrade with the pitcher, which I thought they were going to do, but they at least did what they really needed to do, which was add at least one more bat. Look at the division right now and ask yourself, who is the most dangerous player in this division when there's a man on second base and the game is on the line? Who's the most dangerous person? The answer is obvious. It's Yordan Alvarez. He is the baddest man in this division by a wide margin right now, and the Astros have him. And there is still enough of the team has changed a ton, but there's enough offensive talent on that team around Yordan that I believe that he will be up in enough favorable spots where he can't be walked, that he will get enough chances to hit, and you can give him the Barry Bonds treatment. I think he'll still, if he's getting 2 pitches to hit a night, he's drilling one of them into the gap or over the seats. I just think he's the most dangerous guy in the division, maybe the most dangerous guy in all of baseball right now, although Pete Crow Armstrong is making a serious bid to challenge him there. I just think Yordan he's so good. And there's just no one on this Mariner team that I trust at the same level as Yordan. I thought the Rangers were right there for a while, then they fell back. But the other thing, and the one thing that gives me pause, and again, my answer right now is Houston. The one thing that gives me pause here is that really no one in this division has played that well collectively this season. It's still all there in front of the Mariners. They just have to have a good 10 days, a good 2 weeks, which with their rotation, they are very capable of doing that. I'll be totally honest with you. I follow this team closely, of course. We talk about them every week. And my heart is with the team and the players and everybody involved, because I will say this. I get to watch a lot of different teams, be around a lot of different teams and players during the course of the year. This is probably the most frustrating team in the American League. I almost said all of baseball, but the Mets are the Mets are in a category unto themselves. I almost said all of baseball, but the Mets are really special right now in their category. But to me, the Mariners are the most frustrating team in the American League because their peak and their ability is so good. And if they just figure things out, they're going to be so dangerous in the playoffs. They're going to be as formidable as almost any other team in the American League. If. But the ifs they're there. If Raleigh becomes 70% of who he was last year, if Naylor does that, if Donovan does that, if Julio does that on some level, I mean, these are not outrageous requests that I'm putting out here. And then you just hope that the rotation does what they have done and can do. And Sir Anthony hopefully will perform better than he did last night. But there's a lot to like about this roster still. There's a reason why Jerry DiPoto, who is very predisposed to making changes always, did not make that many changes. And he basically said it's because this roster is not that changeable. And he's right. I think for once, and I'm always interested in, okay, what moves can you make? How can you improve around the margins? There's not much this team can do, short of just totally breaking it apart. And you probably don't do that to a team that came within a base hit or a few outs of going to the World Series last year. So this is a frustrating team, but also a fascinating team to talk about. And it has been a great pleasure to do this with you every week. And I think we're going to have a lot more great conversations. This team is not out of it, everybody. They are not out of it, even though they are, as I said, quite frustrating.
Yeah, well, thanks for that validation there. I think
I'm just telling you. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Lean in. If this team, if let me tell you this. If every night, and if even last night as the game is going on, if you're throwing your slippers across the room once a night, or you're wearing a hat across the room once. It's okay. This feels like baseball therapy here. Lean into those emotions. I'm validating your experience. It is it's totally authentic. And guess what? The team is good enough that if you're patient, that your forbearance may eventually be rewarded.
Thank you, Dr. Morosi. We really appreciate that. Hey, you were the guy that, I just remember you saying this, maybe it was like 4 or 5 weeks ago, that Cade Anderson has done everything that he possibly can in the minor leagues. And Jerry Dipoto, was talking about, and he basically said it would be, what did he say? Irresponsible. Yeah. Irresponsible to put him in the bullpen. And, so it seems like he is, making, that is going to make that jump at some point. In what capacity, if he's not in the bullpen, do you think that they use Cade Anderson?
Well, a couple thoughts on this. Number one, your daily, have we had on the show yet today, has there been a recitation of what his numbers are at Arkansas? Have you read those out yet today? Because it is a very, for Mariner fans that just heard me describe your team as the most frustrating in the American League, just pause now. This is time for your daily affirmation here. At AA Arkansas this year, Cade Anderson, 16 starts, 1.20 ERA, 1.20 ERA, 82 1/3 innings. 119 strikeouts and 12 walks. I'll repeat that.
Wow.
119 and 12. That is a strikeout to walk ratio. Get ready for this. 9.92. His whip is .656. I'm just saying these are, and he's 21. Okay, these are numbers. I'd have to go back, and again, it's AA now as opposed to AAA 21 years ago. But when I was covering your beloved 2005 Mariners, and I was driving down to cover Felix's starts because that was so much fun at that time, and he was still in Tacoma, those are basically like what Felix's numbers looked like 21 years ago. Wow. I'm not saying they're the same guy. I'm not saying he's going to eventually become Felix, but I'm just saying 119 strikeouts against 12 walks in 82 innings is something wild. Okay, that is wild. He's given up 4 homers the entire season. So he's ready, okay? If there's an injury, if somebody gets a ingrown fingernail tomorrow, he's in the big leagues. I mean, he's that good. Now, there's a way to thread what Jerry Dipoto said there. Obviously, there was a team in the American League West that not long ago was going with a 6-man rotation. It's possible. It could happen again. They may not. Yeah. It may not be their first choice. What I'll say is they're not. I think Jerry's correct, and there may be a little bit of a parenthetical after it. I don't think they're going to promote him now while the minor league season is still going to be a reliever now. I think whenever AA Arkansas finishes their year and he's at a certain level and there's no more games to pitch there, or it's winding down there, and there's a need, and or you're in September and you want to go to a 6-man rotation for a while, you do it. Because this guy, realistically, how many pitchers in this organization are more talented than him? Maybe 2, maybe. I mean, yeah. If we're being objective about this. So you're trying to win a World Series. This guy is one of the absolute best arms anywhere in your organization. He can help you win games right now. I suspect he will help them win games. But this is where it gets interesting, and where I do support what Jerry Dipoto said. Last year, LSU, he threw 119 innings. This year at Arkansas, as we talked about, 82 1/3. That's not that many. Really, it's not. And so what they need to make sure they do, and you can't, I think Jerry is right in saying this, you cannot pull the chute now too early and put him in the bullpen, because if you do that, then he might get to 105 innings max this year. And then if that's the case, then he's going to be limited next year in terms of what his step up can be. Now, who knows what next year brings, all those things we talk about. But if you imagine a world in which one of the main starters is traded this offseason, and Cade Anderson shows up to Peoria next year and he's only thrown 105 innings, then you're saying, wow, he's one of our most important guys, but he can't do the full 6 months because we can't have that big of an increase. So I think that Jerry's trying to thread the needle here. I think they've got a good plan. He's not so much innings limited now as much as they have to make sure that he gets to a high enough threshold of work such that the climb to next year, when he almost assuredly will be a major league starter, is not that huge. That's what I've got on this. I think that I still say about 65-35, maybe even 70-30, that he pitches in the major leagues at some point this season. I don't know how and when and where, but you're going for it, man. And this guy is as dominant in the minor leagues as Strasburg was, basically. I mean, this is like otherworldly stuff. So I think more likely than not, he is a major league pitcher this year.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. JP, thanks. You've done it again.
Thanks,
You've
JP.
made us feel better about the Mariners.
Just whenever you're in despair, Mariner fans, just go to this wonderful website called Baseball Reference and just read that stat line again. Read it, baby, because the future is bright.
All right, JP, thanks. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, JP.
All the best. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
There is Jon Morosi, and that will do it for our show, Dave. What a fun way to end that. JP making us feel better. As always, we do have Mariners baseball coming up at 5:30, so a big thanks to everyone who joined us. What a crew today. Ernest Jones, Jon Morosi, Matt Snyder, some good insight on the trade deadline. I hope it'll be a lot of fun moving forward. We're not going to be on until this series wraps up because there's a day game tomorrow. So by the time we come back on, a lot hopefully will have changed for the Mariners. Game 2 coming up of the series tonight, 6:40, and then a 1:10 first pitch with the finale for the Tigers. And then it really gets tough. I mean, Matt Snyder was like, whoa, that's a tough August. Oh, it is a tough August indeed. That'll do it for our show tonight. For Dave Wyman, Mike Lefko here with you. Mariners baseball comes up next.
The champs are back.
So great. Weather's awesome. Guys are in good spirits.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, has your sideline pass every day with Bump and Stacy live from the VMAC from 10 to 2.
We're going to be able to take in practice all week long.
Then Wyman and Bob from 2 o'clock all the way up to Mariners pregame at 6.
Byron Murphy is with us. How are you, man? Putting in the work every day,
The very latest news, insight, and exclusive analysis at seattlesports.com.
This hour is brought to you by Fast Home Services.
My goal is what's best for the customer. I truly believe that I won't ever deviate from that.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Everything that matters is at stake in a divorce. Your home, your savings, your children. For many of our clients, a divorce was unwanted. This is Rick Jones. At Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men, our team of experienced attorneys handle every aspect of a divorce and custody case. When stakes are high, you need a lawyer you can trust. Husbands and fathers trust Goldberg Jones. Visit us at goldbergjones.com to get your questions answered at no charge. That's goldbergjones.com.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding gets underway at 10 a.m. Thursday, August 6th, and closes at 10 a.m. August 13th. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all going to the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doop doop, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-2